Welcome back, guys. This is Arnaldo, aka Mad Dog, and that is David, aka Dream Twister, and this is the real episode 333 of GG's The Mouthful Podcast.
GG!
Yes. Well done, sir, and welcome back. I understand that last week you were drifted away into the land of Oz, thanks to the hurricane. And so we had a couple of inquiries left behind by our third and fourth chair. And as, of course, Chaos would like to know, first off, did you get anything from The Wizard of Oz? And Zibby would like to know, did you find any Oompa Loompas? And if so, are they adorable?
Let me tell you, when you're without power, you get so bored that you start drinking. And when you start drinking, you get into a rabbit hole. And yes, I would say that the experience is very similar as to finding and seeing Oompa Loompas going around. Especially when you close your eyes, which is even worse because you cannot see. You can't unsee them. And what did I bring myself? Well, a whole lot of misery at first, but once I was drunk, I was feeling nice. I was okay.
Yeah. At some point, you just stop feeling, right?
No, exactly. A new addiction. How about that? Yeah. That's what I brought with me. I had no issues whatsoever with power during the hurricane. The grid held. The grid was strong. But the days after, or the day after, that's when it happened. And of course, I was like, oh, no big deal. It's just probably like a brown eye. It's going to come back. Nope. It didn't come back the very next day.
So a whole day. So a whole 24 hours or
I don't know if it was 24 hours, but it was like you guys were recording by the time that the lights, that the power
right. That's right. Yeah, I remember that. Okay. Yeah.
I was like, oh hell no! Someone messed with the grid to stop my signal, but nothing stopped the signal, and that just kept going. And big shout out, props, and thank you to Chaos and CB for holding the fort there. Yes. I imagine.
Yes, they did.
That was kind of fun.
It was fun. It was good to hear from them. Good to have them here as well. We haven't had Chaos in so long, so hopefully we can arrange our schedules to get all of us. Who knows? Maybe a fourth chair. Who knows? Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. But we'll see. We'll see what will lead. But that does leave a little bit of housekeeping, if you will. As there was some topics from last week that I thought I'd throw you away. First off, we had a trailer of the week, and I wanted to know your opinion. I'm sure you've seen it already. The HBO Last of Us trailer for the show. You have not seen it?
Yes, of course I saw. Of course I saw it. Give it. I mean, I don't blame you for not, for not giving credit because it's me, and sometimes I will miss stuff like that, But yes, I definitely did watch this one. The moment I saw that it was like, that it was available, because my curiosity it's at the extreme now, bro. It has super peaked. I gotta say, I am very pleased with what I saw personally. I don't know what you guys discussed. I haven't even heard the episode yet, and I intend to, but I haven't gotten to it. But I personally liked what I saw completely, and so did my wife. My wife, which you guys know, she's not a gamer. And there has been a little bit of zombie fatigue at first. So I thought that, if I showed her this, and freaking moments that freaking clickers start coming out, she's gonna be like, oh, okay, so it's about zombies. But no, she was like, oh, I want to see this.
Nice.
I'm like, yes, because me too, because yeah, they seem to. It's odd that we've been having a few of these lately. Maybe not odd because gaming is a medium that you could grab a bunch of stories from
Mm-hmm.
and develop like series and movies and stuff. But that I went into I went into Halo, the series, the Paramount series, thinking that it was just gonna be like, oh, this is gonna be a fucking joke, this is gonna be so stupid and silly. And I came out of it being like, you know what? I mean, this is not the biggest thing or the best, but it was. I appreciate how some aspects of it were very into that world, even though if they're rewriting the whole story with Master Chief, because I mean, by second episode you can see actually by first episode I think even you can see his face, which it has never happened in the game. So even though they're doing their own thing and telling their own story completely separated from it, everything of the aspect of the world of the from the machines of the military to the Covenant and everything like that, it's very on point with what you see in the games, right? Well, when I was watching this trailer, it kind of led me to feel it made me feel like that. It was like, okay, they're not doing crazy shit like, I don't know, the Doom movie. You remember the Doom movie?
Yeah.
Where they just it's by name is meant to be about, it's meant to be, oh, Doom, the game. You guys know Doom, but in reality, it's like, oh, you just took the IP and ran with your idea, your crazy idea. This one seems like it's actually respecting that, and I like it. I loved what I saw.
I do too. So I think the feeling was unanimous. I think the only concern Zibby had brought up was that the actress playing Ellie looks very different from Ellie. Like you look at Joel, or the guy who's playing Joel, and you go, "Wow, I didn't realize how much he looked like Joel." Until you see him in a role playing Joel, you're like, "Whoa, okay." And then the actress playing Ellie is like she looked very different from what Ellie looked like. And so he was like, he also he wasn't familiar with her. And that's all. It's like, I know her from Game of Thrones, and she was quite the badass. You know what I mean?
So Bella Ramsey's her name for it.
Bella Ramsey, yeah. And so
I don't see. Yeah, I'm with him. I honestly, I have no doubt that she's a kick-ass actress, and evidently from what I've heard about, because those are the missing episodes that I didn't watch of Game of Thrones. So shoot me, I don't care. But evidently, like, she was pretty badass, and enjoyable, and so yeah, this is. I have no doubt that she is. She could probably bring something interesting, like a version of Ellie that'll be also, pretty cool. You're right. She's and I think I agree with CB. I'm not sure how I feel right now, just at first glance. Because just like you said, Pedro Pascal playing Joel, it's like, dude, it's perfect.
Yeah.
It's
absolutely ridiculous how perfect it is.
That is as perfect of casting as Nathan Fillion would have been for Nathan Drake, but that's something
exactly.
But Bella Ramsey, like, I don't know, it could be it could surprise you. Let's not worry too much about it.
Yeah, it's still too early, and
there's still some other characters that are like amazing, like their faces, they almost look like they map their faces
right
to the in the game.
Yeah, I agree. I
Sarah
agree.
Miller,
And
whoever's playing Sarah Miller is like, okay, that doesn't look like her at all, but that's fine. That's the way as I understand it. Canonically, she won't have a big role. I mean, her role will be big. It just won't be that big.
yeah, exactly. No, she did stick out. I was like, okay. But again, you can only go so far. I mean, it is what it is. In the end, you want the what do you call it, the performance to come through.
Yes, exactly.
And that's all that really matters. It's just I think honestly what's throwing us off is the fact that Joel looks, I mean, that this guy looks so much like Joel.
It's like
it's like, oh my god, they nailed it. Yeah, and then that I think like highlights how everyone else looks so different. You know what I mean? So I was like, oh, okay, I think
that'd be scary if that's the next step, right? In Hollywood, they start. I mean, heaven forbid, but
yeah,
I don't think any actors will agree. But you know how they have deep fakes? Like, what if they start deep faking gaming characters? Just to bring it. I mean, I don't think they will do that.
Yeah, but I guess that's possible. Maybe in a.
It's possible. The technology is there. Yeah, there's no doubt. I'm just saying.
But you're right. They have to agree with it. And I think nowadays people are, or actors, I should say, are very protective of themselves that way, because that is their product. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah. So, okay. Agreed. And the other thing I wanted to touch base on that I know, you probably know about this, but apparently it was a drop bomb to my two co-hosts last week, because they were like, "What?" So yeah, so Saudi Arabia says it's going to spend $13 billion to acquire a leading publisher, and then also looking to further invest a $37.8 billion to the game industry. Now, the concern there, of course, is this is Saudi Arabia. You know what I mean? Who are kind of known for a lot of injustices to, you know what I mean, to human life in general.
So I'm almost afraid to hear how that turned out, how that discussion turned out.
Well, I mean, they were shocked. And so right now they haven't made an announcement, but they did mention the amount, which is $13 billion, to acquire a leading publisher. Well, think about for a second, what publishers do we have that are not already acquired elsewhere? I'd say, yeah, I would say that, but I think Ubisoft, I think $13 billion is too little for Ubisoft. And so anyway, the shall I say rumor, just based on the value, is Square Enix, and that saddens me to like no end. If that ends up being a thing, I'm hoping it's someone.
I mean, being investors, or the straight up owners.
This is acquiring. Yeah, they are
right acquisition. It wouldn't necessarily have an impact on the culture directly, I'm sure that some things, might change a little bit, but it's not like it's going to, like, games are not going to suddenly be created to try to push some sort of like weird agenda. I mean, look at Tencent. Look at everything that Tencent owns and how little of an impact it has on the games that
we know. Because we do know. Just in the movie industry alone, actually not just the movie, just in many other industries, that the Chinese, pull some weight when it comes to certain things. Right. And we've seen things get taken down. We've seen apologies happen. Hell, John Cena had to apologize in Mandarin for something that he said. You know what I mean? Right. And it's just weird things like that. It just go, oh. And in the end, you're right. Maybe it's altered. Actually, no. With the Chinese one, I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure there's enough altering. There's movies that they won't. Obviously, you can release where the hell you want over here, but to release it there, they need to make some sort of alterations. And these companies, because they want money, will make said alterations. You know what I'm saying? So right now, yes, it's limited to their audience. But in the end, you are in many ways funding this or assisting in funding this by buying something.
By buying from,
so
right.
Correct.
Right.
And so if by chance Saudi Arabia decides to, by the way, they own SNK. I don't know if you know that already.
I mean, by the way, they own almost a large portion of the petrol that we spend, and we give them money for that because that's a necessity. So I honestly, I don't see it as a big deal.
But it's a waning thing. You know, the world is moving away from petrol. You know what I mean? Whether they like it or not. But I think that's also the reason why they seem to be moving into. They're moving into other things. But just knowing that, you know, all the stuff that the Crown Prince is you know, known for and all that, and just all the stuff the crazy stuff that happens, you know, and that
but we're all right. We're just as fucking crazy. We're just used to our shit. All right.
Sure.
So let me tell you.
Lines, I want to say that there's some lines
again. I understand you, and I agree with you. I'm not saying I'm not trying to look here like if I am a political radicalist or anything like that. Heaven forbid. NSA. I apologize, NSA.
If you happen to be listening, NSA.
If you happen to be, if you happen, right? If you're right.
I'm saying that because I'm sure they are, but you know, I also don't want to let them on that I know.
But no, I think. So the thing about the gaming industry, like I see it, like in the general scope, is that how you say it? Like the status quo is kind of stale. It's kind of samey. It's kind of there's little things that I've seen that have been innovating, that has captured, you know, and to be honest with you, a lot of the things that have been, you know, wild and that we appreciate have come from areas that we least suspect. We got Russian game developers that have made some amazing stuff.
Oh yeah.
We're almost wrong. And same thing coming from China. So I don't see how is that much of a difference from Saudi Arabia, because I don't think the grab will be like a political one. If anything, I think it's just
I don't think they're
diversifying.
I don't think it is either. But it's and so I would agree with you, because I'm pretty sure, yes, there's a lot of Chinese developers that I don't no problem you know, investing in. Like there's a few of the games that I shared recently on the channel, but they're not they don't have direct ties to, for instance, the government. Like Tencent has a portion of their CEOs that are literally tied to a negative portion of the government, right? And Saudi Arabia, in this case, it's the government that's doing, you know, and we already know what they do. You know what I mean? So there's lines. You're right. If there was a Saudi Arabian company that had no ties to that government and decided to do that, sure, yeah, I would love to see what they bring to the table. Just like those Chinese and other ones, you know, other countries as well. It's just whenever you start seeing the lines sort of connecting, and you go, oh, so, and it just, and it freaked them out because I mentioned, it freaked them out because I mentioned Square Enix, and I was like, it's the one that fits within the price range, if you will. But obviously, that hasn't been announced, it hasn't been confirmed. But the fact that they already own another Japanese company in SNK, it almost goes, okay, so they're not against. You know,
look how little they has changed. Now, I mean, if you tell me that Square Enix is getting acquired by Al Qaeda, then we'll be having a discussion. Then, you know, there will be reason for concern. But as it's that right now, it's like it's fine.
All right. Well, those are the two I wanted to drop on you before we moved on any further. This is carrying over from last week, and I know you weren't here, and I feel like you would have wanted to weigh in on those.
No, thank you. Thank you.
But anyway, guys, if this is your first time listening, first off, thank you for hanging out. So while we talk about Saudi Arabia and everything else. But what we normally do, first off, we go into what we have been up to, move on into the various news items, and then, of course, we finish with our hot topic of the week. Before I even say that,
you messed me up. You messed me up.
Well, I messed up already because I went into the wrong thing. If this is your first time listening, please first go to goodgame.rocks so you can join the conversation there. And of course, please like, subscribe, and share the podcast. This week's hot topic.
You threw it on your own.
I really screwed it up.
You screwed it on your own.
Forgive, but will not forget. That, okay, my friends.
Okay, I forgive you.
That's the hot topic, guys. Forgive, but will not forget. And that is, of course, we're referring to CD Projekt Red specifically, but I'm sure we have other examples that we may be able to bring up. When we go into what we have been up to, you'll understand where it all stems from. But basically, they have finally delivered the 1.0 that they were supposed to deliver 2 years ago at this point.
This was the 1.1. I think 1.5 was the 1.0.
I think so too, because I played the other patch, and I didn't have.
That's as good as a Bethesda game will be.
yeah, exactly. But obviously, there's a lot to say of what they did and how they did it and how they intended to get by on it, make money off of it, and of course lose money off of it. If you know the value of CD Projekt Red has gone through the floor, but in finally delivering the final product, one, we are appreciative finally that we can play this game the way it should be played when it first came out. But also, they are on watch, if you will. Mm-hmm. No longer will we go and say, "Oh, CD Projekt Red, here's my money." It's like, no, mofo, no. You are on watch. We need to see and hear what you're going to have, and. We shouldn't be that way, it shouldn't be that way, I should say. You know what I mean? It's the fact that they burn bridges, and so anyway, we'll go a little bit more into that at the end of in our hot topic later on. But as always, let's officially start the show with what we have been up to, sir. I know you're dying to tell me, so lay it on me, sir.
Actually, I want to apologize if I've been making noise. I just realized that I use my Xbox Elite controller as a fidget gamepad. Evidently, because now it's so I received the second part of it. So if you guys remember, I bought the core version, and it comes with, it didn't. It's a lower price version of the Xbox Elite Series 2, and I intended to just have that because I was like, I'm not gonna spend $180 on it. This looks like a better controller, and I just want to test it, see if it's okay. If not, I'll return it. And then I grabbed it and started playing with it, and I was like, "Oh shit, this feels really good." So now I just like holding it and playing and fidgeting with it, and I ended up buying the core components part, or the parts that were missing from the core that completes what would have been $180 worth of gamepad, except that this gamepad was $130 and the core component was $60, so I spent even more money on it, like a dumbass, for buying it separate, But hey, I can say I have the white version. I don't know, but oh yeah, man, this feels so fucking good to play with. This is so fucking good.
That's awesome.
I've been giving it a lot of use lately. I'm gonna get this one out of the way because I'll talk about the main event, which is the one I know you're interested in hearing me talk about. But
sir, you talk about whatever you want, sir.
I didn't mean that I stopped playing dead loop again, for a second playthrough, and I was having a blast with it, and I intend to go back, once I'm done here, because that game is to me it's a little bit more fun to me now that I know what I need to do. If you remember the first time that I was playing it, I had no idea what I was doing. I was overthinking a lot of the things, and I was thinking that the game had aspects that it really didn't. Like I was thinking, like, oh, I need to plan what I need to do and be very efficient about it. And I probably want to spend extra time also looking through all the nooks and crannies of each stage several times, when in reality, all I needed to do was like, nope, just place tell me where to go, game, and I'll go to where the indicator tells me. Just grab whatever you need. Okay, you're done. All right, I had to tell it back to underground, because you need to do the next part of the day.
next part. Yep.
Yeah, and playing it like that, like it was, I was surprised how much I advanced into it. Like I must be like 3/4 of the way already in the little bit that I played, because I already knew, and because that is actually the game, the way to play that game. Just don't overthink it. Select what you need to do. Select your goal and let the game drive you there. Which, for better or for worse, I mean, fortunately, it does like super simplify it, but hell, that is what the game is. If the game had you thinking that it was gonna be like this crazy, like roguelike thing, Dark Souls type, like, no, it's totally not that. And we've spoken about this, so I'm just warming it up. But I do like, what I do enjoy, the setting. Like I am enjoying it a lot more than I thought I was. And the music, of course, is phenomenal. So yeah, I'm all up on that game.
Nice.
However, I accidentally put this other game, because I heard that a patch came out recently, and that game is No Man's Sky. No, it's not. It's not No Man's Sky. A patch for No Man's Sky. Let's be real. It comes out every day, so I'll be playing that game nonstop. Yeah, I do want to check it out lately, because
me too. I keep saying that. I keep going, man. You know what?
I think we should.
I own it already. I might as well just jump in, get the update, and see what the hell's
going on. Just released something new, and all just then as patches and content is free.
It's free.
That's what blows my mind.
Yeah,
like, how are they making money over this? But no, evidently, like, there's a lot of improvements to quality of life improvements that they have made. Evidently, they're biggest yet. So, like, if you jump on it, let me know, because I might be right behind you.
Yeah. I might just. I got a few things going on, but yeah, I might just do that. I mean, I own it. It's just like it's there, and it's a much better experience than it was when it first.
We gotta give them credit. They fixed that game. They super fixed that game. They anabolically fixed that game. Like,
I mean, they also are the ones that screwed it up. But yeah, they finally fixed it.
Yeah. So, but hence, that's not the game. That's not the broken game that got fixed that I've been playing. The broken game that got fixed that I've been playing, that they recently released a patch that got me into it, is Cyberpunk.
What?
Finally, after its release in 2020, it is now October of 2022. Like I said, that game still needed at least 2 years more of development to get right.
Yeah.
And here it is.
Yeah, you nailed it.
This game is, we can finally call it feature complete. I wouldn't say it's perfect. obviously there's still some things, let's say, but overall, I'm really fucking loving this game. I'm not even gonna front. I think that has this been the vision that they, or I believe this was the vision that they had, but has this been the game that they released in 2020? I would probably put it up there among the top tiers. I don't know if of all time, but definitely among a top 10 easily. Among a top 5, possibly also. I'll have to think about it before I throw. Before I say.
You also want to finish it before you get there. I mean, what if the story takes a dive at the end?
No, you know what I mean? Yeah. No, but anyway, I feel like even like the ending in Witcher, as I had, like, I didn't think it was like, wow, like, oh my god, like, it was fine. It was like, if it fixed and it didn't take away anything from that game being amazing. So, like, I'm prepared to go into that, unless it happens to just like, oh, you finished mission 13, that's it, game over. It's like, it's not done, it's not finished. Then I'll be upset. It doesn't look like it's gonna be that anyway. But don't tell me if it is. But what things that I've been why did I pick this up first in the first place? Like I said, patch 1.6 was released. I started hearing a lot of good vibe around it, but I still didn't know. So my thing was more curiosity to see, and let's put it in and let's see how it runs this time. Because believe it or not, I actually started playing. This was not the first time that I played the game. I put this game out when patch 1.5 came out, and I played it a little bit, but I think I was in the middle of something else. I put it in, and I didn't stick to it. Not because of anything bad. It didn't feel right to be playing it at that time when I was in the middle of something else. But I played it enough to see, oh, okay, at least I know what this game is about. Because before, the only thing that I've seen was the trailers and then the bugs. That's all. That was my whole
those experience.
Yeah.
Making fun of the bugs. Yeah,
that's my whole exposure to Cyberpunk. It was just the silly bugs, the memeable things, and aside from the trailer, like, that was it. I have no idea on characters aside from Johnny, like Johnny Silverhand. It's like the only character but nothing else. Gameplay, I knew so that it was first person, but it looked to me like a T-pose simulation, if anything. So playing it gave me an idea of like, oh, okay, it kind of plays a little. It feels like a future. What's the Elder Scrolls game, if you will.
Oh, okay.
If you'll allow me, it feels like a futuristic Skyrim, basically. So okay, I'm fine. And I played it up to a certain part. I think until I got to Afterlife, I want to say, it's like a bar area.
Afterlife. Okay.
Yeah. The memories.
Yeah.
And then. And I'm just gonna go ahead and intersperse this here because it wasn't planned. It wasn't planned at all. But it's a thing that kept me going in the game, and that is that I've also watched Cyberpunk Edge Runners on Netflix.
Oh, you did?
Yes. Oh, I have watched. That was the other thing that I wanted to talk about.
The whole thing
last week. Yes, the whole thing.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Did you send me that you were watching it with Judy?
that was not the thing that Judy was watching. She was watching an anime. I don't know what it was. That was not it. Okay. But I was watching. I did watch Cyberpunk Edge Runner with Judy, and of course, I'll tell you soon about it. What have I been watching? But that's one of the things that kept me in the world, basically. Sort of like I was playing the game at the same time that I was watching the series, and it was kind of crazy because at some point, like, and I'm serious, I didn't know what aspects, like the aspects of the game and the aspects of the series, even though it's it's obviously the same city, but there's different stories, but I didn't remember, like, I was starting to get confused, like, what are the things that happen in the game and what are the things that happen in the series? And that has a reason, and I'll discuss it later on as to why. But needless to say, I was a little bit confused. But I was, because I was in that on that media bombardment, of Cyberpunk, I just kept playing, and but also the game has a very good story, a very good hook, if you will, and it's not just the main story. The game, it feels like I feel like it has three main plot points that are going about, or at least that's how it feels so far. But I'm honestly not rushing to this game at all. Quite the opposite. I'm finding myself so enthralled in this world that I am taking every opportunity to do every side quest that I could find, because the side quests themselves are their own intricate story beats that you want to know more about.
Yeah, that's definitely a Cyberpunk. We can definitely say that is a CD Projekt staple at this point.
Yes, yeah. Absolutely. You saw that with The Witcher, exactly. Which had that. So imagine
that's The Witcher. Was the other thing Thronebreaker, which I mean, just think of that alone. That was supposed to be a single player thing attached to Gwent game that they went over and beyond to make a 40-hour game. And it's like, oh, okay. This is well, we'll get into that later.
I do need to play that. But and to be honest with you, like I love The Witcher and all like that, but I'm a sci-fi person more than anything. So if you give me these two worlds, and granted, Cyberpunk was fucking broken, when it came out, but if you give me a Cyberpunk in a fixed status and a Witcher in the fixed status, I'm gonna lean heavily towards Cyberpunk, because that's the thing that I enjoy. I'm a sci-fi guy more than I am Lord of the Rings guy. I don't know what to call it.
Fantasy.
Fantasy. Thank you. That's the word. There you go.
Lord of the Rings.
It goes to show.
All the Lord of the Rings fans right now are spitting venom at you.
Oh, no, everybody. Like everybody. No, but the things that I should have actually breaking this down into good, bad. Like it plays perfectly into good, bad, and ugly. And unfortunately, I didn't come prepared this time. All I can tell you is that I don't remember hearing as much reggaeton on a game as this game has. Like, holy shit, the amount of reggaeton on this game is kind of like, how can Noah have spoken about that, A, and B, why am I enjoying it so much?
No. And C, why is it going to survive to 2077? That's the other thing. At some point, fads die. So you're telling me this one's not going to?
No, this one's not going away. Whoa, this one's not going away, unfortunately. No. The cool thing is that they have the music, and and the music itself seems like it's from that world. Like they will mention Night City, in the lyrics. It seems like perfect blend of what you expect reggaeton to sound like, maybe in that alternate reality era.
Mm-hmm.
I just realized I'm focusing on just reggaeton. There's tons of different. Oh, there are other stations, but I just can't. I just
But
can't
you
put
keep
myself
tuning
away
into
from it.
that one.
I just tune into that one because I love it. I freaking love it. All right, so things that I'm enjoying. Let's do it live. Let's do good, bad, and ugly. Good. All the good reggaeton. No, no. The city itself is incredibly dense. It's not the largest city on a game, but it is one of the most believable ones that I've been. And I played GTA 5, and GTA 5 feels like a realistic city, but I think this one edges it. Uh, if anything, because of like it has a lot of diversity in NPCs. Like
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
it's one of those. It's one of the few games where it actually gives you, like, it doesn't give you NPCs that, there's the guy with the striped pants, or there he is again. It's like it does that. Like if the game needs to conserve some resources, it will probably do that, but it does it in a way that it's very difficult for you to catch it. Maybe for the most part, it's throwing you like very very unique and different NPCs. And I'm just talking about not the ones that not the people that you interact with. I'm talking about just the pedestrians, going around their business and stuff like that. Like I can see why this game was so prone to bugs and fuckitude. It's because there is just a fuck ton of moving parts
Yeah.
in this engine, and I don't know if it was a good idea, but I applaud their ambition. Their ambition to try to achieve that. Not their ambition of we just need to get the money in 2020 and therefore we're gonna release it in the fucked up state that it is. No, no, no. Fuck that. That was like you're crafting the fucking Mona Lisa and then you decide to literally take a big shit in it. That's basically what they did. Sorry. Uh the game as it is right now, this is the version that I will say, okay, this is completely it. This is the one to play. 1.6, like 1.5 was the 1.0 version of early games where they release and they're playable all the way to the end. But they still have those annoying bugs. It still could have used a day one patch. It still feels like a Bethesda jank. Like the jank it's real. 1.6 has run beautifully, and granted, I am throwing it a little bit of horsepower, but I'm also cranking shit up just to see how much the engine can take. And yes, there are parts where it slows down, where I have had to like, okay, let me tone it down a little bit because I want this area to be playable. But for the most part, it has held. It hasn't hard crashed for me. The only thing that it has done is that it shows some visual glitches here and there. Like you'll see a floating thing, or if you be pursuing a vehicle, for example, suddenly you see the vehicle like disappear on the ground and then just appear back, and you're like, oh man, this was such a cool chase scene, and you're messing it up with those little, tiny
things, yeah.
tiny things,
take you right out of it, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I think I understand now why everybody says those little things take you right out. Is because the immersion in this game is up to 15, bro, from 1 to 10.
Mm-hmm.
It is, they fucking cranked it so hard. I'm thinking about games that are trying to do that, right now, like fucking Star Citizen, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Star Citizen wants you to feel like you are a physical, like you are taking place in that world, and you move your hands, you have to do a bunch of things, a bunch of moves. Nothing, it's a game, but not, they want to try to make it feel like, oh, it's not a game, it's a simulation on every aspect of the of everything you do on that game. Well, this one, it feels like it's going that route. That's the route they decided to do. You go to an elevator, you're gonna wait like an elevator, you're gonna touch, you're gonna select the floor, you're gonna
get ads on your way down.
Yes. Yes. There's a lot of tiny details that feel unnecessary but appreciated, in when you notice them. You're in the motorcycle and it's a little bit humid outside, or it's drizzling maybe, and you see those drizzles on it, on either your car or your motorcycle, whatever you're driving. Every vehicle, it's its own completed model inside, like full for like they might as well, they could take this and make a racing game out of all the vehicles on it. And there's a shit ton of different vehicles also to boot. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like I said, the character diversity, it's unprecedented. You see skinny people, you see fat people, you see children, which games don't,
which is rare.
Which is rare in games. Exactly. It's like it just makes it a more believable world. The interaction with the characters, I'm not super in love with the male voice of 4V, because I feel like it's a little too generic, but it's okay. Like I don't particularly dislike it, either.
It's because of that I went with female V. Honestly,
you went with it.
Yeah, I went with female V, and it was because I was listening to the voice. I was like, there's just something, like you said, wooden, generic, very, just, I don't know. Hearing the female actress deliver those same lines, I was like, oh, that was kind of awesome.
It's a little bit more art in it. There's a little bit more craft, and on the. I can see it. Yeah, I can see it, because I don't particularly love the way my character speaks. I mean, he does a fairly well job. I decided not to go with a female character this time because I really wanted to role play my V. And I'm glad that I did, because I am doing like, even in the parts where I'm pursuing a romance, for example, they've done it very, very well, where it feels like a believable relationship, rather than, oh, you can hook up with this person and it's like a selection. It's like a selection box that, oh, just pick these choices and you can hook up with this person, and then throughout the rest of the game, this person acts like it doesn't know you or doesn't care or anything like that. It's just like completely like nothing is happening between you two, in this game, there's nuance to even the romances. Like, like I found myself seeing the lines that I could throw and be like, that might come in too strong or too weird or too creepy. Let me just dial it down, But then I don't want to dial it down too much, because then I don't want to be thrown into friend zone. Like I thought it was, I made a move that I thought it just landed me square into friend zone territory. I was like, oh, fuck. But then it turns out that no, it's actually, it's, if you play your cards right, and I like it. I like that part. Now, I don't know if I would have gone like for like I don't know if it, well, it obviously allows for same sex, because you play a female V, and I understand your partner was Judy,
yeah.
So yeah, so it does allow. Okay, that's cool. I didn't I didn't know if those choices were there, especially because the allegations with City Project Red and some some stuff.
I almost feel like they added that just to almost clear them up.
Just to clear. Okay. Okay. Yes.
Okay. We're so not that, guys. This is why. Here you go.
This is why we're not.
Along with being able to choose your genitalia, you will also be able to do and go with anybody you want.
Yeah. That's hilarious. Yeah. So I put maybe 30 hours on it, because it's not like I can play a lot.
30 hours is pretty good, man.
But that's still a decent chunk. But I'm not feeling like wanting to rush into enemy. No, into the story. Like the story can wait. The main thing can wait. Because Panam, I think it's her name. It's just calling me right now. She needs something, and I need to check on my girl. And
priorities,
yeah. No. Another thing I was gonna say is I'm probably, my story. Like the character I selected was from what is it that they call him? That they call them. You could be a corporal,
street rat, or city rat, or street kid. I don't know what the hell. And then what are they called? The guys out in the west. The guys out in the
the ones from the outside. What the fuck are they called?
Let me see here.
Pull it up, because now I'm angry that I don't remember my own roots. My own roots. The reason probably I'm listening to so much reggaeton.
Starting backgrounds. You have street nomad.
Thank you. Yes. That's my class. That's my clan. I was nomad through and through. I started outside in the desert with my family, with my nomad clan. I love the fact that because of that background, it allows me to relate a lot with people that are from that background. Hence the reason why, it was so easy to hook up with Panam. Which did you meet her on your playthrough? I will assume you did, because there's all.
I did, yeah. I did meet her on my playthrough. And there was a time, because Judy was non-committal, if you will, and so, but she also had a lot of shit going on. So I guess in retrospect, I can see why she was, Plus, she didn't know me. I was a damn corporal. You know what I mean? She fucking hated me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and so
you were like, the enemy. So.
Yeah, exactly. And then when I met Pan Am, I was just like, oh, and of course, Pan Am gives you these looks sometimes. You're going, oh.
Yeah, right.
What is that? And so I did get friend zoned. just FYI, because she's not into the women. So what are you gonna do? But I mean, you know how they say, you take the leap, right? You take the leap. You never know. You never take the leap.
You never know, exactly.
And Judy was non-committal, so I was, It's not like I was. Attached, if you will.
You made your own West Side Story, is what I'm trying to say.
In many ways, yes.
Oh man, I can I am right now. I'm in that stage where I am very gaga with the game. I can't wait to go back.
Nice.
That is not to say that it has some things that annoy me a little bit, and I'm thinking of switching a little bit my play style because I I started as a net runner, or not started, but I lean towards becoming a net runner because well, those are the ones that can hack you with your head, with your mind, basically. And that sounds like the coolest thing to do, and it is. Overall, it is super fun to be able to like turn things in your favor by messing up with someone's
cybernetics and stuff.
Cybernetics, exactly. So that part is cool. But I fucking hate playing those stupid mini games every time I need to hack to do something. Like,
there has to be a way, sir. There has to be some sort of I'm not saying this. I'm telling you from the angle of the gaming. There has to be something that you can't just automatically whatever. And like
Spider-Man did that. Remember Spider-Man? It had the toggle to where like, if you don't want to be, if you don't
yeah, that's true. That is very true. Yeah,
you can just select this option and like, yes, exactly, something like that. Fuck it, even if you don't give me.
I was gonna say, so did what the hell was that? Ratchet and Clank. There were puzzles. You can literally just skip the puzzle. Just go in the menu, hit something, boom. You're at the end of the puzzle. You know what I mean? If you don't want to sit there and try to figure it out.
Just something, because it takes you out. That's the problem. It takes you out to play this like silly party game, the party trick or whatever you want to call it. You have to be like looking for numbers, and I get it. It's kind of strategic, but at the same time, it's the least hacky thing that it looks like. There must be a better way to represent like having a hacking mini game, and I don't think that was the best way.
Yeah,
and I was starting getting tired of it, so I was like, okay, I'm expecting very strongly towards body and the net running capability, intelligence. But I think I'm gonna do reflex. I'm gonna start dumping points into reflex, and I'm gonna and I already bought the monowire.
Okay.
I don't know if you had the opportunity to try it out.
Yeah, that's almost like a whip that cuts through things.
Yes, yes. Did you play? So
sometimes, but
tell me about your character real quick.
Well, I tell you, my character was female V, and she was a net runner. Heavy into pistols. I when it came to the actual weapons, it was all into pistols. So I mean, when it came, the modifications you can put on, it was always going towards headshots and everything, which made it great. But that only when I needed to, because I would also, pretty much blind everybody. You know what I mean? And just take them out as I need to. A lot of sneaking, because I do enjoy stealth in gaming, so I did a lot of that. And yeah, those are the ones that I basically put it
in. So you expected
pistolera is what I used to call her. Remember my net runner pistolera.
Pistolera. Where were you expecting towards? So because there's one skill, it just says cool. And I'm like, well, I want to be cool.
Yeah, I did put something into cool as well, but those were, if I remember correctly, they were like, it would open up some ninja skills.
And ninja skills.
Yeah. Those were, but I think I put it all into stealth. So it was able to just kind of go in and out of certain things. I think there was one mission that I literally did that, and I felt so good. I didn't take anybody out, but I also no one saw me.
Yeah, that's and after watching the series on Netflix, The Edge Runner, you actually realize that's when it opened my mind. I was like, oh wait, it doesn't necessarily have to be all about the guns, it could be about some other nifty things here that okay, yeah. So I have my choice between doing the praying mantis blades, that you've always seen on the trailers, look mad cool. But I figure a lot of people are lead into that because let's face it, it looks cool as fuck. um, oops, sorry. They also had the gorilla fist, which I knew I didn't want to be. Yeah, so I saw the monowire. I was like, well, and it sounded boring, but I was like, I'll try this one because I like things that are off the beaten path. These selections that maybe not a lot of people make, but dude, I'm fucking loving it. Yeah. Like I'm thinking, oh, this is gonna be my build. I'm gonna make a build that is based on that, and I don't think I need to learn any more about weapons that from what I know right now. I don't think I need to spec into like smart weapons or anything like that. That's cool if you like to hear, because you can play the character whichever way you want. Like you can be a freaking ninja in this thing. And my way, I think, is I'm just gonna use that wire and whip some fools out, or kill them like that, because it is very, very satisfying. And weapons, they'll be my secondary. Yeah. I think that's what I'm thinking of going. Okay. Yeah. The other aspect that I don't know if I still have you, but if I lost you, I'm just gonna keep going.
Listen.
No. The other aspect that I don't super love is like the radio station. The radio station have a lot of good content, mm-hmm. but it's not very well put together. It's almost like it's almost like, oh, they just have Spotify on all the stations, and every now and then they just put some news, mm-hmm. But in the middle of the music, so it can interrupt whatever song you're listening to just play you the news. It doesn't have. It's not like GTA that it will act. The radio station will act like actual radio stations, and it will have commercial breaks, and it will have like crazy things like they probably ran out of time and didn't flesh that out, so it doesn't feel realistic. Also, the way you change them, like it doesn't feel fleshed out properly, which is fine, I guess. They put their efforts into what matters for sure. And there was another thing that bothered me, but it must have not bothered me that much because I've forgotten about it. Anyway, Cyberpunk, hell yes. This is the moment to jump into it. This is the game that I see myself going, and I'm already like thinking of it'll be cool to play as that corpo. Just if anything, because I would like to see their story from their end. Mm. And I want to see if it changes drastically from like we know the main points are still gonna be there, that you're still gonna have Johnny Silverhand. I haven't spoken about Johnny Silverhand, but it's because I don't want to spoil anything. There's some hate on the internet about him. I don't know why, because I think
it's funny. I didn't like Johnny Silverhand's character because he was just kind of an ass, but at the same time, I came to accept it eventually that that's what he was trying to do. That's the character he was playing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
It definitely wasn't like Keanu or anything like that. It was just, man, it's like, this fucking guy. Can you shut what is called the hell up? You know what I mean?
I think that was the thing. Everybody thought that fucking yes, we're gonna have this guy, Keanu Reeves in Cyberpunk, and because he's a saint basically, so it's awesome. You're gonna be your buddy, and then you realize that no, he's not buddy with you. This is kind of an asshole. So, and I think that might have rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, but fuck that. I am enjoying that part of it. If anything, this goes very well with my give me what I don't expect, mm-hmm. Throw me off on a loop. I like this character. I like it. I like it my whole lot. I like when he appears, when he has his opinions, and there have been times that I have wanted to say to tell them like shut the hell up, and yeah, I fucking love that in between. But I won't say anything more about it. You know what? I won't say anything more about the game. I think you guys already can sense
Your
that
love, yeah.
this is definitely gonna be my best old game. Best old game. It's like I said, when when I started, I loved the idea of this when it came out. And it really broke my heart when I heard that it was trash.
Yeah.
Because fucking CD Projekt Red and a cyberpunkish world was like totally my jam, 100%. And that's why I just went into not in denial, but I went into like, nope, I'm not even going to install it. I'm not even gonna give it a space on my hard drive. I'm still gonna keep it. I'm not gonna ask for a refund or anything like that. Because I want it to be a lesson. But stupid people tax. But I was also hoping that it will get fixed and that at some point it'll be on a state that I'll say it's playable, and I'm glad that I waited because and fuck it, I realized I'd done similar things with the Witcher 3. I didn't play until like 5 years until it came after it came out, and that game was fine when it came out. It wasn't perfect, but it was on a very good state, all things considered. So yeah, it kind of weighs on me also, the things that I saw on trailers and early gameplays, and I know they're not here. Like, you remember,
Oh yeah.
like
Well,
running through the walls and like wall running and stuff like that. Like, that would have been mad cool. If anything, I'm happy to hear that CD Projekt Red now feels confident enough to say there will be a Cyberpunk 2. You know, they're confident in the franchise, because this would have been EA, for example. Yeah, this would have been Anthem the fuck out.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It's a shame.
So,
It's a shame.
yeah.
But it's not. I mean, well, it's publicly traded because just like EA is, but EA is just much bigger. You know what I mean? So and they don't care. I mean, yeah, they don't give a shit. So yeah,
they don't give a. Dude, I'm so impressed with it so far that it is like, I'm not ready to score it yet because I'm still in the middle of it. But this is projecting a 4 like easily. And the reason it's not any higher is because you still have bugs. Unfortunately, you still have the little thing. You still don't have.
Yeah. There was. I don't know if I meant. I'm pretty sure I did, because I never forget. I never forget it happening. I was, again, female V, and I was at the bar and I was meeting up with someone, and out of nowhere, I'm not hearing myself talk, or at least I don't know that I'm hearing that I am hearing myself talk. It's for whatever reason the game switched my character to the male V voice.
Oh wow!
It was just the most random thing, and I was just it wasn't until I realized this male voice was responding to V every time someone was asking V, and I'm like, huh? And I had to like pause. I even went into photo mode. Did it switch me completely so I could just see it, you know? And no, my character was fine. It was just the voice audio decided to bug out. It only happened once. A quick reload, fixed it. But yeah, I agree. Those things were still there, and the sad part is it's probably still going to be there when they do part 2, because that's the world we fucking live in at this point. So
they just take you out, but it takes you. It feels like a rip out of the world, just because when you're in it and it's working, you look everywhere and it looks like a real lived-in city.
Yeah,
like a proper. It doesn't look like a game city. Yeah. It doesn't look like assets put together there that there are similar, yeah, like Ubisoft games or anything like that. No, it feels like an actual night city here.
Yeah.
And that is phenomenal. Phenomenal. There's a lot of things that this game has done that are unprecedented, and to close it, if they would have taken their time, with it proper, then we would have had like one of those unbelievable, unforgettable, like fucking Bioshocks,
Mm-hmm.
and GTA and Red Dead Redemption and Mass Effect 2, and that league of games where it's the untouchables. Sadly, it has come to this. The most it could be, the most it could strive right now is to be a No Man's Sky, a Final Fantasy 14, which, hey, it's pretty lofty too. Let's say, right? No Man's Sky. We're just talking about how fixed and great that game is, and how they keep adding and supporting it. And Final Fantasy 14 might as well be the RPG of the best RPG to play right now. So yeah, that's all I've been playing. You want me to continue to talk about Edge Runners?
I do. I want to know. I mean, yeah. I mean, just give me your thoughts. I mean, I've already heard. I feel like shit because I literally had that tagged so I can watch it immediately, but other shit took. I was in the middle of other things, and then other things took over, and then I wasn't sure my wife would be into it, and then we started watching Vinland Saga, and I'm like, fuck. And it's like shit. She would have been into it, shit. But anyway, so needless to say, I screwed up and have not watched it yet, but everybody else has. You know what I mean?
Everybody else has,
yeah. Yeah. And it's like, what the fuck? But so yeah, man, you might as well tell me your thoughts. Because I already got everybody else's.
All right. I'm interested in hearing about everybody else's. I'll probably put the podcast. This is, I mean, this is still, I don't see how many reviews it has gotten, but this is still 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. Evidently, the average tomato meter, and a 96% average audience score.
Oh,
so
even the audience is there's like one or two out there like this freaking anime smut. No, okay.
I'm here to tell you that fucking Cyberpunk Edge Runners, it's all right.
For an anime, it's all right.
For an anime, it's okay. Good. I'm sorry. You guys expected me to say something else and to tell you guys that I was fucking blown away, and this was the second coming from Arcane. Like, this ain't it, son.
I was gonna say, I mean, once you have Arcane, let's be real. Very little lives up to that.
Yes.
As much as I enjoyed Vinland Saga, it ain't no damn Arcane.
It ain't no.
You know what I'm saying?
And I'm not gonna. And I'm not telling you that you won't fucking love this thing, because chances are you very well might.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like I liked it. I liked a lot of things about it. I also didn't like some things about it. Excuse me, and neither did my wife. The thing with it is that, well, it's anime, and I'm not 100% an anime person. I like it. I enjoy it for what it is, but sometimes it could go too far into that level, and it's not that I feel annoyed or anything like that. It's that honestly, I don't grasp it. I don't grasp the speed at where things are happening and things are being said. Like, even the dialogue. And I didn't watch it in dub. I didn't watch it in
Japanese.
In Japanese. Like, I watched it in English because, like, I knew that it was going to be a hard subject to follow. So I wanted to make sure that I understood as much as I could. And also my wife was watching it with me. So I wanted to make sure that we grabbed it. And to be fair, the what it's about, it's good. You are
Okay. The overall
invested,
story.
interested in these characters. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. The characters are are likable. They're enjoyable. You will have your favorite character, and that's it. But overall, it does its thing to tell you, a story. Whether it lands, with you or not, like with me, maybe not so much. Like I can appreciate it, but I was a little left with like, oh, I guess that's it, and that's just my opinion. Someone else could find it like incredibly fulfilling, and they could just grab a whole lot from it. I am very interested in hearing your opinion when you watch it, because like you tend to have this like a
Frou
more
opinion on
absorbent.
stuff. I know. I
No,
got you.
it's not. I wouldn't call this fruitful. I'll tell you that. Although I will call it rich in the nutrients that will allow you to form
It naturally
very unique
grows frou.
opinions.
I got you.
You will
Yes.
have that, but I wouldn't call this fruitful. I will call it maybe hyper violent.
Well, I mean,
It
yeah,
is.
that I can. I mean, that's the game. The game is
No, that's not the game. I mean, the game will have decapitations and stuff like that. But at the level of like gore, and granted, it's animated gore, so
yeah.
it's
I
not
know
the
what you
same,
mean. Yeah.
But like, I haven't seen that in the game so far. I mean, yes, sorry. There are some scenes and some places where you might see, oh, someone was operating into this body of this like almost cybernetic female, but still a human, and like the fucking organs are out and shit. That's kind of disgusting. Like you will see that, but this one, this one's, I would say it's a tad
So that was
above.
that was a negative between for you and your and
No,
Mrs.
not
Green?
necessarily. I mean, like it's there is such a thing as too much and unwarranted. Like
Mm-hmm.
it didn't, like it doesn't need to, but it didn't bother me to see it here. Maybe in some other medium, I don't know, but in watching anime, it was more like, well, it's anime. This is what it is. But if the series want to make sure that that someone is dead, you're gonna be 100% sure this person is super dead. Believe me.
Okay.
So yeah, I would say it was good. It was enjoyable. I personally will rate it a 3 out of 5.
Okay. Yeah, that's
You
good.
know, it's good. It's not mediocre, but
Right.
I didn't think it's 100% either, or yeah, it has some. I'll tell you this. It is well animated, although things happening so fast that it makes me feel like they might be skipping some frames here and there. Um, it does a good job of showing you that world in anime style, in anime format. And the voice acting is like, there is some talent here, like fucking and you recognize him the moment you hear, you recognize him. Giancarlo Esposito is here. He plays a character. I'm not gonna say who, but
I'm sure I'll recognize him.
you'll recognize it. Yeah,
Yeah.
you'll recognize the voice. I didn't. To be honest with you, I didn't at first. I just, I kind of had to look it up because it just sounded familiar. But yeah. Uh, the acting, or the voice acting, it's there. It's very good. And like I said, you're gonna enjoy the characters also. I want to know what did you guys thought about it? You know, overall, if you guys talked about that last podcast.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't go too much detail, but yeah, they did
Oh.
enjoy. They both. I want to say Zibby saw it as well. But yeah, I know Chaos did, and he did. He says it was really good. And I was like, oh man, yeah. Again, it left me like I can't. I'm trying to think who else saw it. Maybe it was Adam. I don't know. Somebody else mentioned it, and I was just like, God, I need to get on this. The hell's wrong with me?
What are you waiting for? Yeah, you need to get.
Wait till you hear what I've been watching. You're gonna be like, what the hell are you watching that?
They're short episodes. I watch at least, because I don't binge, but I watch at least 2 per day, and like I was done with it in a week. Like I was ready to talk about it in the podcast that we didn't have, or that I wasn't part of it. Yes, sorry, that I wasn't part of. So yeah. Go watch it and give us up reports, sir.
For sure, I will.
That's my Cyberpunk escapade.
Yeah,
I don't have anything else, that I've watched. But okay. Yeah, it's
cool
all
stuff.
Cyberpunk 24/7.
So I am gonna start with. I don't know what to start. I guess we're already here, and I guess I always do that. So I might as well just start with what I've been watching. I guess maybe to explain why I haven't even jumped onto that, but we watched 2 things this week. I think we finished something. I don't know.
Well, didn't you finish that series that you were saying? They were just saying. You're talking.
Yeah. But I was thinking. I wonder if I finished something before we started that one. But yeah. So the series, it's a mini series on Netflix. It's a Netflix original. Dahmer, Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story.
For fuck's sake.
And yeah,
you monster.
This so first off, I dig up to an extent learning about true crime. You know what I mean? I don't know why. It's just to a certain extent. I don't need to have what do you call it? Exaggerated stuff and all this whatever.
Gory details, because that's what you get on this one, evidently.
This is. I mean, well, first off, I don't think everybody knows everything about him. And I also don't realize how recent it was. Like in my head, I was like, oh, he was captured. It was in the 70s and he got captured in the 80s. And it's like, no, he was captured in the 90s. I was like, what? Because that was that long ago. You know what I mean? And also, it was that long ago, if you really think about it. But us being in our age, we always feel like the 90s was only 10 years ago. But it really was. For some reason, we all kind of default to that. But anyway, it's still amazing to know that that's the time frame that happened. That's one of the first things that caught my eye. And then I know of the things that he did, but not the details. And this is a 10-part series that goes into those details, and but it also goes into his history and as a kid and the things that have been the things that people know about stuff. Yeah. And but the way the show, and I'm not gonna spoil the show, but I will sort of mention the structure. Mostly because I know you're not going to see this shit, bro. You know what
I mean, never.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'll be more happy this way.
You will be. The very first episode is the last potential victim before getting caught. And so he's already into his he's just into his thing at this point. And it is so unnerving, bro, because you already know as knowing what it is. But what's happening and I realized I ended up seeing some articles where people really didn't get past the first episode. So the fact that it was so high on the list of Netflix, most watched shit, it's like, yeah, the area saw the first episode because about as far as they went. And so we kept going and it gets interesting and a little crazy. And I always hate some of these things where it almost wants you to sympathize a little bit, or at least that's I mean, they may not be what they're trying to do, but it's almost like the intent, just to say, well, this, these are the factors, and it could just be laying out the information. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Here's the details. Take them as you will. If you feel that, these are all the details that we know about them. And here it is. And it's also, I also thought it was a documentary. It's not a documentary. It is an actual scripted thing. So it can do and go places that a documentary wouldn't normally go. To say it's good is really, if you enjoy,
if you're a sadistic
crime and are fascinated with, because there's the fact is there's a lot of people like that. That's the reason why Criminal Minds is such a big series. SVU, all these big series.
The SCI. Fuck, what the fuck is it called?
CSI. Yeah, CSI. Thank you. All these big, because it's the crime scene. It's the whole thing behind it. You know what I mean? And that's why those things are so big, because that's what people like that. So if you are one of those, then there's a lot to like here. You know what I mean? That said, I can tell you, it's funny, I didn't know this until I told my wife about it, and then she in herself admitted the same thing. We were having nightmares. I would get up and I'm stirring in bed, and all I have are scenes, images, and music. A song that I will never want to hear again, bro. And it is a known song, and I'd have already forgotten it. I've already forgotten. I didn't want to think about it again. But it's just
all I want for Christmas.
Thank you, because that's a good one. I will take that over the other one. But
wow, anyway, you fuck!
it's that, yeah, it's that insane. It's the details. The fact that where he was doing things, the building smelled, and the smell, people were smelling rotting because that's what it was, and they didn't know what to do with it. What he did with them and why, it is just like it's literally the things out of nightmares. Literally the things out of nightmares, bro.
Nightmare fuel.
Oh, absolutely. And so again, if any of that sounds entertaining, then have at it, people.
Well, honey, put it on our wish list.
Of all if there was one thing I would
gonna have
tell
a
you
Dahmer Christmas
to run from, there was something that don't watch that. Like, if you would have asked me about Old, I'd be like, bro, don't watch that. Like I did for you for Jupiter Ascending, bro, don't watch that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Then there's other things that I'm like, bro, avoid at all costs. Don't even, if you see the thing pop up as you're going through Netflix, you turn off Netflix. Just turn it off and let it reshuffle when you come back in. You know what I mean? Maybe it'll be gone. You know what I mean? For you, sir, I would definitely, because I know this is nothing that you.
You remember what I told you? I don't watch stuff to feel. I watch stuff to get numbed.
Well, yeah. I got numbed for a whole different reason.
It sounds like this will be the 100,000% opposite of what I will care to watch, and because the thing is, whatever you guys want to think about it. There's just things that become too glorifying of, even though, that's not the intention of it, motherfucker. It's still being sold
even
as
if it's not.
entertainment.
Yeah, it's exactly.
It's not. It is in its way. It's like if you want to tell the story of you could have made a documentary, but no, you decided to do a fucking snuff porn nightmare fuel thing of and they're just for shock value, and there are people that are okay with that, and
yeah,
I am not.
Yeah, I desensitized to it at that point.
Yeah. I don't seek that, that kind of stuff. I want to watch. I just want to watch dumb shit because, honestly.
No, I mean, this one definitely, when I first saw it was there, I was like, okay, Okay, I want to see what it's about. You know, 'cause again, I don't know. And there was another one that was called the Jeffrey Dahmer tapes, something like that. Now I can remove those from the list. I'm like, I don't need to see it now because I got the best dramatized version of it, and I'm good. You know, yeah. So the Jeffrey Dahmer tapes like some interviews and so I was like, I don't want to see that shit. You know what I mean? Fuck all that. Right. This was and you know what? I don't want to not mention this, and that is acting is really good stuff. Okay, you have Evan Peters, who plays the titular character, really good, really freaky. You know what I mean? You have Niecy Nash or Nicey Nash, I'm not sure how you pronounce her name, which played the neighbor, which was amazing. You know what I mean? And that should be some sort of Emmy nominated something. You know what I mean? Richard Jenkins, which is one of my favorite character actors, that just he always plays the same kind of older guy. He's in everything. You've seen him everywhere. You know. Yeah. But Molly Ringwald was in it too, which also didn't see that coming. So you have some good stuff, man. But it's a hard watch. It is a hard watch, and that is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I was trying to warn Dark, and Dark still went and did it. He may be fine with it for all I know. It may not. Yeah. It may not bother him. But
I mean, we haven't heard from him.
This is true. Yeah, we also haven't heard from him in a while. So either he died of fright or shock, or I don't know. Dark, let us know.
Anybody has seen him?
Some messenger, just let us know you're okay. Of course, he won't hear this for a few days, but we'll hopefully we've heard by then. But no. It's again, it delivers what it's like Hereditary. Like Hereditary is excellent. Yeah, we'll watch it again, right? Although I nowadays I have this weird desire to watch it again, but for the most part, I don't need to. Right? It delivered what it delivered. It did the job well. Freaked me the hell out. Well, same here. You know, for all a bunch of different
job well done.
Job well done. Yeah. And anyway, so that's Dahmer. If I had to give it a score, honestly, I would. I don't know how to score this. I really don't know. It nothing under good makes sense because it's not mediocre or bad or anything like that. Right. I also don't want to say it's great because it's also really hard.
Yeah. Go for it.
So I'm just gonna go with it's really good. It's really good. 3.5. I'm gonna give it 3.5. Yeah. So that's Dahmer. Yeah. And then the other thing I watched was The Mystery of Marilyn Monroe. I want to watch Blonde because Blonde is on Netflix now, the Netflix joint.
Wait, isn't that what you watch?
No. That's not Blonde. Blonde is the one with Blonde is the one that just recently got released. This is called Mystery Marilyn Monroe. It's the unheard tapes. It's the guy who investigated the mystery around her death to find out what was going on. And we already, technically, a lot of people already know if you kind of looked into it, but it's all the tapes that he was playing a lot of interviews and stuff like that and kind of going through a lot of the history of her when she was younger, Marilyn Monroe, and the things that led to what appears to be a suicide, but we don't know if it looks like a suicide in every way, but there was some weird things that happened at that point, and some cover-ups and stuff like that, and include that we now know include the president at the time, JFK, and his brother Bobby Kennedy, and who was the attorney general, and the crazy things that they potentially did, and just some weird stuff was going on towards the end. And this guy had like 6,000 hours of tape that he did interview. He was called to do an interview by the government, believe it or not. In 1982, they reopened her case, and at this point, JFK and even Bobby were both dead. So at this point, it's like, well, let's reopen it, see what came out of it, and that's when all the information came out. It was around the 80s that people already knew that, she was getting down with the prez, you know what I mean? and so
the recordings, I did not have sex with that. Sorry.
Yeah. But now that I have watched that, and it was okay for the record, I'd honestly give this one a 2.5. And it really just because I thought, Not that I thought he was going to find something new, because I know this investigation happened in '82. We would have already known about this now for God knows 30 years. And but I don't know. I just felt it was going to be some detail, and I think the details really started to get really interesting at the very end, like at the last 7-8 minutes. I was like, oh. The rest of the time, I'm like, oh man, it took us a while to get here. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna give this one a 2.5. It's a bit mediocre when it comes to docuseries. And interesting though, because it does show a lot of really beautiful, clear footage of the actress. And at that time, and just stuff I've never seen. I've seen a lot of her films, but nothing in, you have so much with online and everything. We have so much stuff we can see of any celebrity at any point, and seeing her at any point, it's hard to, because we don't have a lot of footage, or I didn't think we did. So anyway, so that's that. And now I can now watch Blonde, which, for the record, is already on. Is already known that Blonde is.
Why do you watch Dahmer for the second time instead?
No. We all know that the Blonde is not supposed to be accurate. It's filling in a lot of blanks. But I'm curious
or respectful in any way.
Oh, apparently, yeah. Apparently.
To anybody, not to Marilyn Monroe, but to humanity.
No, definitely to Marilyn Monroe, and maybe to,
not just to.
Yeah, and so yeah. But anyway, so those are things I've watched. What I've been playing, I've actually been playing two things. So I'll start with the first one. I think you already know about this one, and that is Tunic. I have started
playing Tunic. Yes.
I cannot express how freaking good this game is, sir.
Yes.
Visually, it has a particular style. It is very much a 3D Link to the Past, or even the other one that recently came out on the Switch. I'm trying to think of Link's Awakening. Actually, probably more like Link's Awakening, because it has that really almost claymation looking like that thing. And not that this looks claymation or anything like that, but it just has a specific style to it. And but it is it basically plays like that. You play as a fox who wakes up on the beach, and you have nothing. You're just figuring out shit as you go along. You don't even start with a sword or shield. You can eventually get these items and other weapons and items as well. The game plays very much like if you were to take the old Link of the Past and add in Souls games elements, in the sense that there is a specific challenge to it. It doesn't hold your hand. It expects you to be smart enough to figure things out, and when you do, you feel extremely good about it. It has that's about it. Oh, when you obviously you use, as you are killing things, you are gaining a specific souls, if you will. We'll call it souls. You can't, I can't know what to call it. It looks like these little essence or coins or something like that, or little not coins. I don't know. Whatever they are, you're collecting them.
Essence.
You'll call them essence, yeah. And so those things, you go to an altar, and the altar obviously will let you save. It also reloads all the enemies in the world. It also allows you to upgrade your character. So all these Souls type of things that I know Souls didn't invent it, but you can relate to it easily. And of course, if you die in the world, you go back to one of those places, and you can go back to the spot that you died, and you'll find a little ghost of yourself, and gain back some of your lost material. You don't lose everything when you die, but you lose a small portion of it. Die enough, you're losing a lot. So,
define a lot.
Like for instance, if I have 700 of the essence, and I die in one spot, I drop 20. You know what I mean? That's not a lot. It's a fraction of what you have. You know what I mean? So it's not really that bad. Now, if I'm in a boss and I'm not getting my, there's no reason for you not to be able to get your ghost back, for the record. But if you run into that, then you're obviously going to be losing stuff. But what else? The craziest aspect of the game, but its most unique, is how it doles out the information. As you're going through the world, you're finding you can find a door. The door, you try to open it, it'll give you like a message, but the message will be in this weird cryptic language that you don't understand. You go to a well, the same thing. You go to over here, you don't know what's going on. And then occasionally you find a page. When you find this page, it becomes part of not your map, but almost like the touchpad. You get it and you can bring up this page to look at it. As you're gaining these pages, you realize these pages all are forming a book. And as you look at this book, you go, oh my God, this looks like an old school Nintendo game manual. You know what I mean? And I'm like,
I'm very curious as to what that means, because I imagine Nintendo game manuals were very diverse. So
yes,
I kind of want to know what
this has wonderful imagery. It's weird because it explains every page. You find information while still having some mystery. Like one of the very first page, and I'm sure this is designed to be your first page, but basically it says, the page is called starting out, and it has a lot of it still in that weird cryptic language, but then it says you're going to go here, you're going to go here, you're going to go here, then you're going to go here, and page whatever has reference to that, then you're going to go here, you have page whatever, but you don't have those pages. You're like, fuck, okay. So you just go with what you have at that moment, and you start following where you need to go. At some point you pick up like an overworld map, and you go, oh, okay, that's the overworld map. Okay, now you kind of line it up to where you're at and figuring out where you're going. Then it starts explaining items. And for instance, I'm gaining stuff. I'm already going to the not the bonfire, the what would they call them? I just called them anyway. We'll call them the bonfire.
Yeah. What else?
I forgot what I called them. The altars. They're altars. That's what it is.
Oh, okay.
So you go to the altars, and you realize you go there, and you get your energy back, and of course it resets everything. But at no point does it tell you, hey, here's how you level up. You don't know how to level up when you're at an altar. It doesn't. Then you finally get. I've already gone to the altar several times. I've been collecting some of this essence for a while, but don't know what to do with it. And then the page comes in and goes, okay, and it shows you the essence, and it says plus, and then it shows you an item that I have in my pocket that I have no idea what it does. Even if I open it, the explanation is in this weird cryptic language. So I'm like, I don't even know what it is. But the booklet, or the page from the booklet, says essence plus this item equals attack strength up, or ATK up. You know what I mean? You're like,
yeah.
Oh, okay. And so now you go, and then of course it has a picture of the altar, and it says you go there to, say, so as you're doing, it's brilliant the way it does. It's like I haven't run into any issues as far as being lost. The only thing I'm right now at a boss, and the boss is kind of hard, but it's just figuring out the pattern, just like any other fucking game. So little by little I'll get to that, but I haven't ran, and I've probably played a good 4 or 5 hours already. And it's excellent. I love the way it does that. And the pages are, again, placed around the world, not hidden, right? They're not going to be like you have to find them. They are not, I won't say plain view, but you're going to have to pass them. So it's like, okay, the game just knows you're at this point. Here's a new bit of information, and it'll be this random page over here. I'm still waiting for page 28. Where the hell's page 28? I want to know. It says go to this page to look at this, but then it gives me something else that has another mystery. And anyway, the bosses are challenging. The enemies actually can be pretty challenging too if you get wound up with many of them. It's a hidden thing there. I don't say they're difficulty spikes. I will just definitely say there is strategy behind it. You can't just go in and start swinging like you're fucking Link, just whatever, there is stamina. The stamina is interesting. It only reduces when you roll. I can sit there and swing as much as I want, but when you roll is when it takes away that you drop on stamina.
And it wants you to be offensive is basically the game language there.
Well, yes, but you are so small that you can't just sit there and swing and not expect to get swung, because they're going to swing back, and they're bigger than you. So you have to roll, and you have to roll because you have to stay close to them. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things, you're going to still roll, and then when you start seeing your stamina go, you have to really back away from them. And then the gaining of the stamina is also, there's also an interesting point of it. As your stamina goes down, the lower is on the bar, you take more damage. So it's one of those things that you're right in front of them. If you have a little bit of stamina, you're susceptible to more damage at that point. So you also want to back away. You know what I mean? And it's interesting. It's a very interesting. I don't know, just the way the game works. You know what I mean? I'm just like, this is really, and it's beautiful, and the music is awesome. That's another thing. Music is really good. The game is gorgeous. It is, bro. It's exactly what I wanted when I first saw Tunic, and I saw that it was coming to Xbox, and I was like, motherfucker. I was like, fine, you guys have that. I don't care. And then I saw it was coming to I was gonna say Nintendo, even though it is coming to Nintendo too, or already there. Coming to PlayStation, I was like, yes, we got it, baby. Yeah, man, Tunic is excellent. Highly recommend that. So far,
how's the music?
The music is great, bro. It's very atmospheric. It's and every like the overworld has a little bit of an upbeat, but not Legend of Zelda upbeat where it's like too kind of kiddie, but also still mysterious. When you go into darker areas, it really gets a little bit more moody. It's really good stuff. I would invite you. I'm pretty sure it's there already, but I would invite you to check it out on Spotify, just to get a little taste of it. And yeah. But I really do enjoy it. I'm so happy that I jumped on it. That's the one I kind of want to go back to, like immediately. But what I have also been playing, and I've actually been streaming. I don't know if you noticed that it popped up every so often here. But
you've been streaming, but not. I haven't seen what you've been streaming. I've seen you. Oh, like I get the notifications that hey, someone's using the Twitch account. I was like, oh.
go now. It is Alien Isolation.
Oh my god! I was reading something about it today, actually, about that game. Being like, oh, this is the perfect time to play.
It's not
you
because
must
of
have
that.
read the same thing.
No, I was just thinking. I was like, it's October, and I don't always play scary games because they're fucking scary, and so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take this on. You know what I mean? And get into.
I've never played it before.
I've never even touched it. No, never even touched it. And the beauty is that the version that I got came with a bunch of stuff. It came with like a bunch of DLC already. It was like a combo pack. So I have pretty much most of the stuff there. And but I'm just playing the main game at this point, and I'm about 3 hours in. Everything has been streamed. Like if I play the game, I'm really just gonna throw on the stream. Because I just continue to go with it, and it is good. It took a little while to get into the scares, I guess, because you start off fairly early, not a lot's going on, a little mysterious. I think the entire first stream, I only streamed for like an hour and some change, and I had yet to run into the titular alien. But you do run into some other issues, so you're kind of dealing with that. And it wasn't until the second stream where I finally came face to face with it. And dude, the music is intense, bro.
I've heard. Yeah.
It is intense, and it ratchets that shit up. Like it just knows how to, even I'm trying to just, all right, whatever. This is just a fucking game. Who gives a shit? You know what I mean? And then like 2 minutes later, I'm realized I'm tensed up again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I'm just trying to get to this where. And the one complaint I have of the game is really the complaint. It's not really a complaint of the game. It's just the style. Like I loved Outlast, but I can only go so far because I was like, I need to be able to fight back. You know what I mean? There is not a lot of fighting back here. At least not at this point. First off, obviously, you're not going to fight the fucking alien. You know what I'm saying? No. Unless it was a ship full of aliens, no, you're not going to find the alien.
Unless you're Sigourney Weaver yourself, you're not going to find the alien.
Exactly. Unless you are Sigourney, exactly. And so you're really running most of the time. And the problem is you're not really running because running attracts with sound. You know what I mean? So you're constantly, or at least I'm constantly moving slow. So because of that slow pace you have to go, because of the music, because of the ratchet attention, it's just that's why I'm only streaming for an hour and some change. Because I'm just like, all right, my body's like can't take it anymore. We just call it quits. We made it to a save point. It's almost like Dead Space. You know, it's like, okay, we made it to the tram. We made it to the tram, guys. All right.
Yeah.
Whew, let's call it a night and we'll come back next time. But it's very similar to that. But again, the difference is you really can't fight back. I think I just got a gun, but it's like ammo is ridiculously scarce. So it's like, why am I going to use this? And again, it'll attract everything.
More than anything.
Yeah, it'll attract anything. The light, you have the very similar to Outlast. You have a light that's battery operated. And even though we are so far in the future, the battery does not last long, and you have to constantly replace it. But because, and by the way, it can be seen, right? It will alert anybody, not anybody, you know, because you do have other antagonists, not just the alien itself. So you have to kind of worry about that as well. And but overall, visually, it's really, really good. I have the film grain is like it works sometimes. Other times, it really feels too grainy. Like it's turned up a little too high.
It's like watching a VHS of Alien.
Yeah, pretty much. It really leans into the 80s sci-fi for sure. Every computer looks like it's, I don't know, bro. Like like it's literally from the 80s.
Yeah.
Everything's running on DOS. You know, it's
maybe that's the reason why the batteries also ran out so fast.
You know what? You're probably right. With it. They didn't have the Duracells. Yeah, you're probably right. No. Or the lithium. They didn't have lithium back then. But anyway, that is definitely a cool aspect of it. Again, the music is it really lends into it, and when the tension happens, man, the tension fucking happens. You're tense. So it's really doing its job again, and so I'm enjoying it, and I will continue streaming that. But yeah, that's Alien Isolation. No score on either of these two, obviously, because I'm in the middle. I'm sort of kind of floating between the two. Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, that's all that we have to do. And we are back, guys, and it is now time for our trailer of the week. Wahoo! I swear, we're getting better at that. Even when we're not in this, we always nailed it when we were in the same room together. You know, when we were doing this virtual. Yeah. Man, we were harmonizing that bitch. But since then, you know, it's been difficult. But I feel every so often we strike a chord together. You know, and I tend to look at the wavy lines and, oh man, I think that one nailed it. I think
that the lag tends to fuck us up a little bit here and there.
It does.
But for the most part, yeah.
Our trailer of the week, ladies and gentlemen, if you have not heard, there's this little title coming out called the Super Mario movie? Let me see. Super
Mario.
Yeah. Super Mario movie. Yeah, okay.
Super Mario movie.
Yeah. I don't know if the Super Mario Brothers movie. Okay.
There you go. Yes.
Okay.
From Nintendo Pictures. And who else is it?
I think it's Universal. I don't know if Nintendo isn't Nintendo Pictures a pictures thing?
Yeah, Nintendo. I mean, didn't they? It would be funny if they recently just announced that they have that they have that division now, and the Super Mario Brothers movie was not part of it.
That would be. I didn't know they had a division, sir.
Yeah, recently. Yeah, Super Mario Brothers. All right, now we're gonna have to pull this up.
Yeah, bringing it up right now to see what the production company behind.
Yeah, I know Illumination is one of them, but
yeah, I knew Illumination is one. Yeah, let's see.
But Nintendo Pictures is a thing. I'll tell you right now, Nintendo Pictures.
It is. So the production companies are Illumination Entertainment, Universal Pictures, Nintendo, It just says Nintendo. So I think it's just Nintendo. Well, let me see. Distributors is also Nintendo, but this is all media. Yeah. And when I click on Nintendo, let me see what it says. Does it say movie company? Scott Pilgrim in the World and versus the World. They did something with that.
It says there's an article on Nintendo Live that says Nintendo launches official website for newly acquired Nintendo Pictures, company previously known as Dynamo Pictures.
Okay.
They actually have a division. If you go to Nintendo/picture.co.jp, you'll see that.
Say that 4 times fast.
That's their. It's a Japanese company, so they don't have .com. They have .co.jp.
Oh my god! So there we go. That's the companies that are bringing the film. Sir, what did you think of the trailer?
You know what? I didn't see 824 there, so I didn't watch it. No. The dude, I'm on board. I am down with what this is.
Me too, bro. Me too. This looks and feels like, I guess, I didn't know. I guess that's what it is. I didn't know what I wanted, right? Like, a part of me was just like, I don't know what they're going to do. And maybe I had the old Super Mario Brothers movie in my head a little too much.
Yeah,
but I just didn't know. That. Yeah, nobody wants that. I just didn't know what they were going to do, even when they first mentioned, and then the fact that throwing in Chris Pratt, and all the other characters, I'm just like, okay, now this is not sounding as good as you think it would.
I don't have any issue with that whatsoever. I don't. Here's the thing. If you want this movie to be a movie for the masses, I realize it's a kids movie first and foremost, but for the most part, it's almost like a Minions movie that they're marketed toward kids, but in reality, like, you know, adults can enjoy this too, you know, and you know, if you like that kind of thing. If you wanted to create to have that type of movie, you're not gonna have the voice of whoever the hell it is that does the voice going, "Woohoo! Let's go!"
No.
Like,
I did not want that for sure.
No, but they're up in riots about it. It's like fucking Chris Pratt. I'm like, motherfucker, Mario. It's supposed to be like a human, right? You know, he's portraying a human. He's not a weird creation. And the thing with the games is that the way that, you know, he's not having cutscenes with dialogue and stuff like that. I get that. But also the reason why he was just going like, "Wee, yahoo, and let's go," is because of the limitations of the systems. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't want a Mario video game to suddenly have, you know, the voice of Chris Pratt, the entire thing or anything like that. No,
you know that's happening.
But a movie, like, I am completely fine, you know, with the movie, you know, having Chris Pratt and sounding the way the way it sounds. You know, you don't need to bring a fucking Italian stereotype, you know, in the first or the front. And you don't need to make it Super Mario, you know, the Super Mario 1993 movie either, or 83, whatever the fuck it came out. Who cares? I feel like I feel like this. I obviously haven't seen the movie, so I don't know if they're gonna nail it. But as far as what it looks like it's gonna end up being, it feels like it's on point. Fucking Joe Black is Bowser, right?
Jack Black, yeah.
Jack Black, sorry, Jack Black.
Yeah. And his and to be fair, everything we heard, as far as, you know, the voice so far, we really didn't get too much of Chris Pratt, and I feel like that was on purpose. But no, I definitely have to say it's definitely not about. Oh, thank you so much. It's definitely not about the fact that it was Chris Pratt. It was the names. Like I heard, you get his name, you get Jack Black, you're just going, and in your head, because I have no concept of what we're getting, I still couldn't put together in my mind, what is
Jack
it we're
Black.
getting here,
That Black sounds awesome. Like
I
didn't even know that until somebody pointed it out to me, and I was like, yes.
I love Jack Black. I love all the actors who are actually in this, believe it or not. Every one of them in their own way. Again, it just Charlie Day's in it, Seth Rogen's in it, which I'm not too big on, but but he obviously will recognize his voice immediately the moment we hear, but it was just the unknown, and then to get this and go, wow, I didn't know this is what I wanted. You know what I mean? And now that I see it, I go, oh my God, I think they're gonna fucking nail this. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think I agree. Him being Bowler,
I don't even want to imagine if you're mad at this, like I am shocked that you survived the Pikachu Detective Pikachu movie, because that one would have sounded like fucking sacrilege.
Have you seen that movie?
I haven't yet. I need to.
You need to see it so you can understand. But yes, I know what you're saying. You do need to see it. I have Sonic the Hedgehog on my list. If I watch Sonic the Hedgehog, sir, will you watch Detective Pikachu?
Oh, I have no reason not to. Like I would have watched. The only reason, you know what? I have forgotten. Honestly, it's just that. It's not. I don't have a list like you. So if the movie's not in my head,
the problem is that I have your list.
Yes, I know.
That's the issue.
And I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I still honor you every night for having watched Pain and Gain. I will never forget that. That was one of the I can die now. No, actually, I still need to go to Japan, and then I can die. And that I would have. I want to marry my wife. I want to go to Japan. And I wanted you to watch Pain and Gain. Those are my three on the bucket list. That's all I wanted.
That's all? My God.
That's it. That's it. I can die happy.
And you can die happy. Oh, you can be a happy man in your old age with all the extra credit you're going to get. Oh my God.
I need to watch. I know I need to watch. Dude, I like, I'm not a, you know me. Me and Pokemon, it's like the farthest things, apart. But seeing what they were doing with it, like I was genuinely curious, and I heard some good vibe. I don't know, I don't know if it's but then again, I survived Sonic, so what the hell?
Yeah, exactly. And you realize I'm going to compare. I'm literally going to compare the two. It's like I'm going to watch that and go to the bar of Detective Pikachu. How does this movie sit? And I would probably venture to say that Detective Pikachu may edge it out a bit in front, but again, I don't know. We'll have to watch.
Yeah, hey, I will respect that. I'll be just as happy.
But anyway, Super Mario Brothers.
Detective Pikachu doesn't have Jim Carrey, so
but it does have Ryan Reynolds. I'm just saying, just saying.
That's a good one.
But anyway, so Super Mario Brothers movie. Mario. I think we both are. I don't want to say excited, but we're at least speaking for myself, I'm pleasantly surprised at the angle that they took, and really am curious and might go to the theater for this, just to enjoy it.
Yeah, why not? There's not a lot of those type of movies, that make us want to go in, and I'll be. Let me know. Buy my ticket.
Got you. 2023 is there a date? Let me see. It just says 2023 here. Hold on, guys.
No, I think it's just
April 7th, 2023. There you go.
Oh shit, there was a date? I didn't even know. I didn't even know that there was a date.
IMDb, it's either that or it's a placeholder. One of the two, but yeah. So that is our
day one patch
trailer of the week. Moving into a couple of news items here that I wanted to quickly discuss and throw over to my co-host here.
We throwing anything at me.
The first, the first one is got to be the most head scratcher of the week, of the year, of this generation so far. And this generation not even that damn old.
Oh shit!
Yes. Horizon Zero Dawn remaster is in the works for PlayStation 5.
Yeah. Wait. I think that was rumored, wasn't it?
Sony Interactive Entertainment is planning to release a remaster. According to a report by MP1ST, which VGC, that's Video Games Chronicle, can corroborate via our own sources. The updated version of the 2017 Guerrilla Games title will feature improved visuals to bring it up to par with this year's sequel, Horizon Forbidden West, in the form of new character models, lighting, animations, it's claimed. In addition, it claimed the new version of Zero Dawn would add accessibility features, graphic modes, quality of life improvements, and to the gameplay itself. So, I'm not going to read anymore because I'm already disgusted.
This is that you took the words out of out of my mouth. I was literally gonna say this is disgusting.
Yeah,
this is disgusting because this is not what this is not the way that we want Sony's projects to go into. Like there is absolutely alpha zero reason to have a remake of a game that didn't come out no more than what?
Is it claiming to be a remaster?
A remaster, yeah, a remaster, yeah, because he needed to a PlayStation 4 title needed to be quote unquote remaster. I feel like they're not understanding like what that actually means. Although, what does that really mean in gaming anyway?
Who knows at this point?
Yeah. But, I mean, there is the PlayStation 4 version is a perfectly good version to play today on the PS5 or the PS4 if you wanted to revisit that that world. There's no reason. Like, is it that they didn't fucking learn from Last of Us sales, or is it that we were so dumb that we just fell for Last of Us and we bought it again? Like, what happened? Like, what is the logic in this?
I'm curious because the game just came out in September, so we should be able to know by MPD numbers soon. But I don't know. I mean, the fact that well, first off, they haven't announced it, right? This is reports, rumors. You know what I mean? From sources, right? So they technically haven't announced it, but if it's in the plans, it could and mentioned recently, it could be that they're seeing some success when it comes to The Last of Us Part 1.
Right. And I mean, the catch grab was successsul, and they intend to do because remastering, like quote unquote remastering of Horizon Zero Dawn. That will be like the easiest shit to put. I mean, hell, you can fucking get that done on PC right now by modders, and I'm not even joking. Oh, yeah. Like modders have done like reshading.
It's probably already done. And I was going to say it's already probably.
It's already a project on someone that has modded it and made it, and it's just these are resources that could be potentially used on some more interesting ventures. Oh hell, if you want to continue milking the franchise, like I get it, it's not my favorite franchise, but I understand that it's a good game to a lot of people. And if you guys need to see a third installment of this, then hell, go at it. Start working on that. But wasting time creating like a quick, cash out, it just. Like this is not PlayStation 4 era Sony, and I don't understand what this is.
I don't know what this is either, and I agree. This is where it's not even. It's 5 years old. It's a 5-year-old game.
It's a 5 years old, and they're already
yes.
Yes.
And it's like, and I'm going to be honest with you. you can probably go back to that first one and play it on PlayStation 5 and just go, this thing looks amazing. So what is
and
it
it
that we're
runs a
getting?
lot better. Yeah.
I mean, if it's it, and here's the kicker. The kicker is this. If they come back and do this and it's another $70 fucking title, okay, which at this point I wouldn't be surprised. You know,
No,
I mean
they
that's
did it with Last
Sony.
of Us. Why would you be surprised?
Yeah, well, Last of Us is a quote unquote ground up remake, you know, and all this stuff, and it's like, but it looks the same. It looks the same. It looks the same. Sorry, it looks the same. You know, sorry, and yeah, I can see that, and that, yeah, that's gonna freaking burn. That's gonna freaking burn, and I'm not gonna be a happy Sony supporter. You know,
not like
in this,
like
you know, and by supporter, I just mean, you know, that's the ecosystem of gaming. You know what I mean? So that makes me a stakeholder, if you want to call it that way. But it's definitely, it's disappointing to hear. It's disappointing to hear. I saw when you posted, and I was like, what? This is what you want to waste your time on? Okay. Well done.
I hope, you know what, I hope they get the message. I really do, because people are gonna start noticing this kind of. I mean, this is fuck. I would expect this from like an EA, you know, not from Sony.
Yeah,
absolutely not from Sony. So
yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know either, sir. But speaking of EA, yeah, segue. The first Dead Space gameplay trailer was revealed.
Yes, it was.
Curious to hear what you think.
Well, let's say that I was very excited for the project because of what you know, Dead Space remake. I like that. I like that franchise, even though I didn't particularly love what they ended up doing by the third one. But that's fine. It was still a good one of those.
For sure.
And Dead Space 1, it's, I mean, that's
Dead Space 1 is a masterpiece of gaming horror, for sure.
I wanted a how would I say this? I
don't know.
I was hoping for, okay, so you know, when you get a retelling. Yes, there you go. I wanted a retelling, something among the, and I think I gave you this example of what they do with Batman movies. You know,
gotcha.
You got Batman 1989, and you got the other Batman, then you got the Dark Knight, and then you got they're all movies. They're all Batman movies, but they're like their own thing, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, each of them stands on. Each of them stands alone by themselves to be its own thing. Yeah,
right. Exactly. And what it looks like we're getting here is like a George Lucas special edition version of Dead Space. You know, it looks like it's going to be. It looks like it's going to be, dude, the same game, and I love the same. I love that game. I already played that game and enjoyed it the way it was. I'm not sure. Like the project ended up feeling less than what I thought it was going to be, and maybe maybe that just speaks to my expectations. And let's be real, because we're still talking about an excellent title.
Yeah.
It's just
hey, frame for frame remake of it is going to a frame for frame remake of it is still good. Yeah,
exactly. It's just like, oh, you literally made you literally meant remake when you said you were gonna do the remake, and I thought that you were actually or rather you meant remaster.
Yeah. I tell you, these descriptions is hard to get a hold of, but I would only say one thing. In essence, because I saw this and I was just like, oh my God, it's the same fucking game. With a few scenes where like, no, that didn't happen in the original. Okay.
Right.
But for the most part, I feel like we got a lot of what we remember getting. Then I decided to look at some of the gameplay. And I was like original PlayStation 3 gameplay of Dead Space. And when I did that, I was like, okay, all right. So, all right, there's some improvement here. Okay, I get it. All right, I get it. That is technically 2 generations ago, and you can tell by looking at it. Okay, fine. And they never did any remasters, right? So it was just like that's it. That's all you had.
Oh yeah, exactly. This will be the remaster. I guess because it's been such a long time. Like I didn't expect it to be like, oh, you meant like literally remastering the same game and not just remaking it, which is what for some reason my silly head thought it was gonna be, and that's on me because if I wanted to play a remake of Dead Space, I could just play fucking Callisto Protocol when it comes out.
Which we all will. I mean, let's be honest. That's and
this is tanks.
I mean, sure, but I would argue that guy, the head of that team who's making Callisto Protocol, he has quite the resume, bro.
Oh, okay.
He has quite the resume. Let me see if I find him real quick.
I'll be down. I mean, I'm hearing reports that Callisto Protocol is expected to be like a 14 to 16 hour game. That doesn't sound that lengthy, but maybe you don't want it to be that lengthy when it comes to scares.
Yeah. Glenn Schofield, that's what I was looking for. Head of Striking Distance Studios. Let's see here. Let's take a look at his.
Let's look at his resume.
His resume, if you will. Games that he was, and he's lead artist in a lot of these. This is going far back, dear Lord. That's the 90s. Hold on, let me jump a little bit. Ahead.
Shit, okay. Big Dog. No, I'm kidding.
We got Gex 3D Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver, which is one of my favorite games of that time. Gex 3, Akuji, Mad Dash, Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver 2, Blood Omen, Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, From What You Would Love, Dead Space. Okay. Well,
Dead Space.
And then he came to Dead Space. Yeah. Dead Space, Godfather 2, Dead Space Extraction, Call of Duty, Black Ops, Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 3, Advanced Warfare, World War 2, and now Callisto Protocol.
Oh, geez. Yeah, they put him working hardcore into Call of Duty games. Maybe he's glad to be doing something.
Yeah, he was an activist after he was part of Visceral, and Visceral got destroyed. Exactly. But yeah, so it is. He's got quite the history there.
He has some chops. Yeah, I'll give him that.
I'll give him that. Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, that's the only news pieces I have that I wanted to touch base on, sir.
Wow, so no news whatsoever on how atrocious of a launch Overwatch 2 was. Oh, neither of us play Overwatch. So.
I was going to say I haven't played, so I have no. But if you have news on it, by all means, share.
Sure. Yeah. It was a bad launch. Back to you.
It was trash.
It was
back to you in the studio.
The launch was The launch was. I'm not talking about the game. The games. It's over. How could they fuck it up? But I mean, let's hope that the game itself delivers. Because evidently the launch has been rough. Also, they have been, or mainly the reason why it has been is because. From day one, they have been under a heavy DDoS attack. So the hackers are, doing their mischief, if you will, and it's been difficult to play and matchmake on a game that is pretty much that. Because I'm not sure that I don't think the campaign is available. So you're supposed to have a campaign, but I don't think
it's not available yet. That I do know. And there was something that I heard regarding of how long to get some skins, but I can't corroborate that. I have no clue. I didn't go into this. I don't play Overwatch. I stopped playing Overwatch a long time ago.
Yeah.
And because of that, I have zero interest in Overwatch 2. But apparently, yes, it's going to take you a while to get some skins. 8 months apparently.
Wouldn't
But
be
anyway,
surprised. It's a free to play game now, which has the free to play trappings.
Yep, that's what happens. All right. Well, with that, guys, let's get into our hot topic of the week.
Hot topic!
Hot topic again, guys, is forgive, but will not forget. Sir, this is primarily, while I do share the sentiment, primarily your hot topic based on your recent rekindling, if you will, with
kindling. Because this is my first time actually touching.
You jumped into it momentarily, and just to
I guess that's true.
Dip your toes, you know what I mean, and you only did it because you wanted to kindle, the initial kindle, if you will, and so this would be the rekindling because you ran away the first time because you're like, nope, not ready. Still need time in the oven.
Oh, that was me. Although I don't doubt it. I don't, from experience, from what I heard and your experience, it does look like, yeah, this could still use a 1.7 patch and maybe a 1.8 even.
It's not.
Maybe they'll nail it at the 2.0 mark.
Yeah,
that will be the new 1.0.
That would be 2.0 is the new 1.0. We need to get that. We need to get that hashtag started. So go ahead, sir. Talk to me about how you are feeling with CD Projekt Red and in general. With obviously, you mentioned how you're doing with Cyberpunk, how much you love it, but just in the fact that
overall, yes.
yeah.
Well, so the thing is that I am happy to see that the game that got a release that I was looking forward to, it has a resurgence. I believe the resurgence was what made the resurgence possible in such a wave was the release, the simultaneous releases of the Cyberpunk Edge Runners series on Netflix and the 1.6 patch.
Mm-hmm. Wait, 1.6.
Yeah, 1.6 patch, which has Cyberpunk Edge Runners content in the game. I wouldn't be able to distinguish it because, or not yet, because I still don't know what that game had or didn't have at the launch because I didn't play it at launch. And I also saw a very emotional. I don't know who his name is, but I know that he was not the CEO, but he was like one of the main directors of the game, and he was talking. He was doing an interview. They were asking him about the state of Cyberpunk right now, how it has this resurgence, a lot of people going in, and suddenly it's back on the sales charts, and it's not a $5 bargain bin title anymore, and you could see that it was legitimately very emotional, trying to answer the question and trying to like choked up of his feelings that finally something that we pour 8 years of our lives into, and because of one terrible decision,
choice,
choice, it got the reception that it had. It's finally starting to look like the light at the end of the tunnel. And I'm all happy for that. Don't get me wrong. I believe in second chances for certain things in life, and I will be willing to forgive them as I have done with other developers that have gone through the same to the same thing, and they have persisted on making sure on delivering the vision that they intended.
Mm-hmm.
I guess right now it's still too early to say that I will trust implicitly. Obviously, that's probably not gonna happen. There's very few companies that I still have that type of relation that I can feel like, oh yeah, if your game if you're coming out with something, chances are I'm gonna be day one on it if it's something that I'm very interested to. Cyberpunk was that. Cyberpunk was the game that I was very interested to into, and it super let me down, and it was a fucking betrayal.
Yeah,
it
was.
That's what it felt. It felt like a like a blatant betrayal of of the goodwill that you have already amassed, in droves, because not just because you had a good game, not just because you had the Witcher series, but because you were always in constant communication with your community, because you didn't pursue the stupid trends of DLCs and fucking microtransactions and loot boxes and shit like that, like other companies did, and you decided, like, you showed that you were true a gamers developing company made by gamers, basically. Yeah. That they develop games the way that we love them. They give us free content.
Yeah, lots of free content.
Lots of free content. And when the expansions were coming, there were meaty expansions that you had to pay for them, but it was not nickel and diming you. It was
way worth it. Way worth it. Yeah.
They also gave us the only PC store that I'm aware of, though there might be more, but the most popular one at the very least, Good Old Games.
Yes.
That it is to say you games DRM free. For those of you who don't know, DRM, or digital rights management, they're locked. They're things that lock your games, basically, to make sure that you don't pass them around, that you don't pirate them, and that's all fine and well. I don't want games to be pirated, obviously. However, when you have DRM like fucking the Nouveau and others that are so resource intensive, those things could literally slow your games down. And now consoles are gonna start having that. I think the Nouveau, like Switch titles, are gonna start being put with the Nouveau software in it, which doesn't do anything because the pirates always end up cracking the games anyway. But yeah. I digress. Yeah, man. This is the fact that they were willing to open a store where it's just trusting us, Yeah. With Witcher, I have the Witcher version that I have is DRM free. I don't have it tied to Steam. I don't have it tied to Epic Store, although I might have their version because at some point it came out free and I grabbed it anyway because, hey, free. But still, I still play the game, DRM free, and it runs amazingly. Cyberpunk, same thing. Cyberpunk, my version of Cyberpunk is DRM free because I bought it at GOG, because I knew that was gonna be probably the better version if I only knew. Foreshadowing be damned. But yeah, I wanted us to talk about this because I am a little conflicted still. On one side, I'm appreciative of the fact that so far they have kept their word at trying to bring up and deliver the version the vision that they have. On the other side, though, this is still too fresh. This is still too recent, and it is still way, way, way bad in a way that none of us expected and were ready to it. This straight out lies, like literally lying to you,
and evasiveness,
exactly. Like
it was,
and we didn't, like, we just decided, we probably looked the other way. It was like, dude, it was like we were so madly in love with it coming.
Yes,
we just blinded ourselves to all that. Someone else would have noticed that. Hey,
I did notice, which is why I didn't pre-order. I didn't pre-order, and then the freaking FOMO got me, bro. It got me, and it was like, it's CD Projekt Red. Come on,
The Witcher.
I mean, we knew. I mean, the signs were there. Yes. When we first, do you remember the first time we saw that 40-something minute gameplay thing? And it was just like, oh my God, I can't believe this is a thing. I can't believe this is a thing. This game is what we're watching here on this screen is going to exist. And that was in itself a lie. You know what I mean? Because at no point did that game run like that. You know what I mean? That was a clear what do you call that slice?
Virtual
slice. Thank you, virtual slice.
Vertical slice.
It was a clear lie. It was a clear, hey, this is what we're going for. Mm-hmm. But I didn't say that. You just looked at it, and they let the fact that they were already in development for several years, 8 years. By the time it released, it was 8 years. So they were and by the time they showed this, they were 6 years roughly. Mm-hmm. So I was like, oh shit, 6 years in development? That's how it looks. Oh man, this is gonna be amazing. Of course, they didn't say this is their vision. This is what we're aiming for. They didn't say that. We know that now, right? Because no version of that game ever looked like that in the end. And so I was like, oh, okay, gotcha. And then the next sign was, all the delays. And delays. I think that's the worst part. Delays have always been, you don't want them, but you never fear them. You always go, well, hey, I mean, it's going to end up a better game. It's like whatever time added is, it's always going to improve the game you have.
You hope so, yeah.
Yeah. And dear Lord, what version did they have available to them on that very first
on the very first delay?
First date. Yeah, first release date they
forgot to start.
What? Yeah.
They forgot their homework. Like, oh shit, we need to come up with something.
I cannot even imagine the version they had, dude, at that point.
Full production didn't start until 2016, bro. This game was announced in 2013. 2016 is when they actually started putting that shit together. So, so the fact that,
I mean, you figure that's what it's. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
Yeah, it for the vision that they're trying to say, that they're trying to bring us. Starting a game in 2016 means that the end would have been at the most optimist
right now,
2023. I would say. Yeah. The reason why it's right now is because you better believe that. I mean, let's be real. The pandemic didn't do them any favors. I get that part. But you take the pandemic out of the equation, and I still don't think this game was at the place where it would have been. Like, I don't think it would have been playable still.
No. That's what I'm saying. That first release date had to have been. Oh my God, I wouldn't even know how that game looked like.
Dude, they just had they had that reel. They had that demo. That's all they had.
Yeah. They handcrafted that demo. Like, that was handcrafted.
Right. You can control when you can control the air and you don't have a lot, you don't have to worry about the other moving parts of it. It's easier. It's easier.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I like I ask because the mind-boggling part of this is that they started they started this very 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 late, right? Mm-hmm. They knew that they were not gonna hit their gold. They called it they called it at some point, we have a gold master, when the game wasn't even finished still. Like, I understand that delaying the game after, like, you fucked up with that. First of all, you gave too many dates, and when you shouldn't have. Well, you should have just shut your mouth and left it like you said at the beginning. The game will be delivered when it's done. That way, when it's done, could be anywhere from here until 2077. Who gives a shit, Exactly. But in reality, like, you could have just said the game was not ready for for standard. And yes, your stock would have taken a hit. We get that it would have taken a hit, and you were probably thinking on that, the fact that if we say that we're gonna delay this game and we actually need a year more, we're just gonna lose so much money. But you thought of that, and somehow you didn't factor in how much worse it was going to be to release this in this state, because you had to have known the state that it was.
Yeah.
And still give it the green light and not expect the backlash. After you had so many examples before you from companies where we honestly expect that to happen. You get that from Ubisoft, you get that from EA, you get that from Activision. Like, we fucking expect that at that point, because it's like, of course, they are cash grab companies. They don't care. They're just gonna trick everybody that they can and scam everybody that they can, and that's just the way they do business. But your CD Projekt Red, this cost you your reputation, and value. That is, there's no stock price for that.
No, there isn't. And it's funny you mentioned that. I wonder how much that played into it. I wonder how much, when they sat back, the executives or whoever it is, the heads of the company, looking at the time frame, looking at what they have, I wonder how much of them sat back and go, listen, let's be real. Ubisoft gets away with this. EA gets away with this. Activision gets away with this. Sure, there's a little bit of a backlash, but everybody buys it anyway. So who gives a shit? There's a backlash all the time on all this stuff. EA has backlashes all the fucking time. Fucking Battlefield still sold. Mm-hmm. The most recent Battlefield that was absolutely broken still sold.
The one that no one's playing right now.
I mean, they don't give a shit now. They're like, hey, well, fuck.
They're actually hurting right now, mind you, because remember, that's a live service. So if it's not live,
true,
they're not, the first sales already, like, that probably evaporated already. That goodie.
Well, there you go. Obviously, this all happened before Battlefield, but all of those, and then the companies moved on. Anthem, example, like, they went to try to save it. No, we're
not even. They literally wrote it off.
Remember, they came back. We're dedicating some, company.
Right.
Trying to, but then they just wrote the fuck off. Yeah,
exactly. They didn't stick to it. Like, if this would have been, like, it's this pretty much very similar with the case of CD Projekt Red. Like, CD Projekt Red could have just written this off. Because, I mean, would you imagine, like, all the money that this is costing them to put together? But they're not EA.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They're not, exactly. They never were. They were on a lesser known but higher pedestal. Right. And that was the difference. But I think there was a cloud of, I don't know, just misjudgment, where they just said, you know what? This is just me. I'm just spitballing here, just kind of wondering, How would you do that? When you look at every other game that they've done before then, everything they do with GOG, how much attention they put to detail and little things and make sure things are good before they roll things. You see all that, and then you see this, and it's like the exact opposite, bro. The exact opposite. They knew, because part of the review cycle was you can only review the PC version. They knew the console versions were garbage fire. They knew it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, how do you go from being one of the most respected developers of in gaming, you know, where you give free stuff away, free updates away, you put all the stuff that you put into to make everything, every little detail count in everything that you do, whether it's in game, whether it's customer service, whatever the case may be, when it comes, through GOG, all this stuff you put in front, you always are focusing on this stuff, and then you suddenly go the other way. I mean, literally the other end of the spectrum. You just always go, fuck it. We're going to release it. Like, it's like, it has to be, to me, this is my theory again, it has to be they saw how the other publishers were doing, and they're going, well, man, okay, they're getting away with it. You know what I mean? We're already 8 years into this. We'll patch it. We'll get it. We'll get it. You saw No Man's Sky. They came back. Everybody fucking loves that guy now, even though everybody hated him. You know what I'm saying? I feel that they saw those things and said, let's just roll what we have at the moment.
That's just,
we're in the middle of
suicidal, though.
I mean, that's the thing. It's like, it sounds suicidal because now we know the outcome. But at the time,
they must have known the outcome of, like if they say, okay, look at Sean Perry and now how everybody loves it now, but they hated it the first time. I'm still not going to throw myself, into getting hate, because I am hoping that it's going to work that way, but I know for sure they're going to hate me.
But here's the difference.
So that sounds like a very risky move.
Sean Murray was an unknown. That's the difference. Sean Murray was an unknown. He got hate because he was unknown. Bethesda doesn't get as much hate. There are legions of Bethesda fans who swear by the original Fallout 76. Like, it was fine, guys. You guys are overreacting. Dude, we know a few. Okay? I remember someone coming on. I don't remember who it was. I'm not going to name names. I don't want to point them whatever. But someone was like, "Oh no, Fallout 76 was good. It was great. It did this." It's like, no, but because they're fans of Bethesda, that's what CD Projekt Red had. Sean Murray didn't have that. That was Hello Games. They made fucking Joe Danger. That's like 50 people will swear by Joe Danger. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, Joe Danger was great. You don't have the backing. But Sean Murray walked into that and fucked everything up because he thought he had the following, but he didn't have the following. Bethesda had a following, which is why they can survive past that. And that's what I think CD Projekt Red thought they can do. That's what I'm comparing it to. Not Sean Murray. I just mentioned Sean Murray, but No Man's Sky. But also, when you compare the two, really, it compares more to Bethesda because Bethesda has those mega fans who will buy everything Bethesda, and probably are pissed off now that shit's on fucking Xbox. But it's still coming to PC anyway, and that's most of the Bethesda fans. But the point is that I think that, again, this is my theory, right? I'm not saying this is what, but it's the only thing I can think of. What else will drive you to the other end of that spectrum when you had so much goodwill?
So I have a theory.
Okay. Okay.
And I'll tell you how it differs from your theory and why I think it's a little bit more plausible.
I mean, I am going off the deep end here, so it's possible.
Let's call yours the suicidal theory. I am going to Christian mind the panic theory.
Oh, the panic button. Gotcha.
And I'll explain why. So I honestly think that that's literally what happened. They just panicked. They realized that they actually set a particular strong finish line that no matter what, we cannot pass this. This is the day. And you know which one that finish line was? The release of the new consoles. The release of the new consoles. Think about it.
Okay.
They are trying to get this game ready so that it can be sold to where the majority of the players are going to be. Remember, this was not a PlayStation 5.
No, yeah, well, yeah.
Or Xbox
PlayStation
Series
5 hadn't even been announced yet at that point when it was first announced.
Right. This was for this generation, and it needed to hit. It needed to be a hit before the end of this generation. Like it needed to be a swan song, if you will, like a Last of Us for the PlayStation 3. Gotcha. You know, for example,
yeah.
And
God of War 2.
Yeah. It needed to be that, and the problem was that it were getting closer to that day, and it wasn't happening. But they still wanted it to be that because what was the other option? After they have already taken pre-orders, they were gonna say, it's not gonna be, it's not gonna be ready, and you have new consoles now, and people jumping in. Or at this point, we still don't know that. They probably didn't have expectations of it being so hard to get a PS5 or an Xbox by then. When they got out. But they wanted to hit as much of the gaming population as possible, which was on PlayStation 4 and on Xbox One. And as you can see, those versions were not ready because that I'm not saying that they couldn't have run this game. I'm saying that for this game to be possible on those consoles, this engine would have had to have a lot more tweaking, polish, and optimization, which they did not have time to do. And that's why when they came out so horrible. And the higher ups were convinced that if they missed the mark, that was going to be a lot of money that they were going to lose for whatever reason. Because once PlayStation 5, it's like when Black came out. I don't know if you remember Black.
I do remember Black. Yes,
Black came out like
I like Black for the record.
I love Black, yeah, but that came out when already the PlayStation 2 was out, it was out already, and where the next generation was already out. So even though it was impressive, like it didn't have all the fanfare, and this one, like I'm not saying that they thought of Black, but I'm saying that was the mentality. However, that it needed to be done before the next generation consoles were out, because that way they can release the game. It could be out on PS4 and Xbox, and that's where the majority of people are right now. PC is not a problem because PC doesn't have like generation cuts like that, but they were thinking of consoles because they were going to have a lot of sales on that. And then that's why I think they pushed the button. They decided to go for it and go for launch. And that was, as you can see, it was catastrophic.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It
absolutely.
was. It didn't help them because I like to think of that of that way, rather than thinking that they were thinking that they could get away with it. Because I honestly can't think of a mentality of someone going like, well, especially when they have their awesome reputation that they have. Remember, they could do no harm, and so far they had not done any,
True,
or very little, if any.
Yeah.
But suddenly turning them like that, it doesn't.
Not that that's the thing. Not that they're bad. You know what I'm saying? Not that it was a justification, and it could have been born out the same fear you're talking about. You know what
Yeah,
I
that's
mean?
what I'm saying. I think
It could
fear
be
was the
born out of the same
catalyst.
thing.
Honestly, I honestly feel like
but that's what I'm
that
saying.
was actually
That same fear could have led them to say, "Listen, we will fix it after." Because I mean,
right.
in your scenario, the only pushback I can really say is, yeah, but look at that prior console version. It was horrible. I played it.
Yes, it
I
was.
know
Yes,
it
it was
was
horrible.
nowhere near ready.
I
So it's
know.
like, oh, we need to get it out, but what is like? Ugh.
But they didn't think. See, they didn't think that it was going to. That like they were not thinking that Sony suddenly were gonna say like, "Oh, this shit is so shit that we're
No,
not even gonna sell it on our
that was
store."
unprecedented. Yeah, that was unprecedented.
They were not expecting that.
No one was expecting that. But
yeah, that's the part where I would say, "Oh yeah," and they subscribe to your theory of we'll fix it. You know, we'll patch it. We'll patch it afterwards. But I think the catalyst was definitely that that fear of that panic of, well, shit, it we need to do it, fuck it, do it now, we'll figure it out later.
Yeah, well, it's the same thing. It's exactly the same thing. We'll send it now, we'll figure it out later. So exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah,
now again, not nefariously, right? They weren't doing it to whatever, to were in their heads, I would say.
Again, they're not EA, so
I don't think they were purposely trying to say, we already got all their money, let's just put it. I didn't think that they were doing that.
Right.
I think in their own way were justifying why they would do this. It's like, we will at least get a lot of people the game that they need, and we will go back and we're not going to go back. We're not even stopping. We're just going to keep working on what we can and on the patches for the other one. And we'll go from there. So not nefariously. No, I don't think they did that. They're not. I agree. I said they're not EA. They're not Activision. I don't think they had that in mind. But I do say, I will use EA and Activision, all the ones, to say, look, when you look at them and you just go, maybe it's not going to be as bad. They're still able to get back, past that and move on to whatever. Maybe it's not going to be as bad. That's why I say the justification for it will go, well, not because they're able to do it, just because they're able to survive it and move on. Maybe we'll be okay. We're big enough now. You know what I mean? Witcher 3 got us, man. Everybody loves us. We got Gwen. We got, everybody has whatever. We got GOG. We're big enough now. We're going to be able to make it. Let's just do it. And we'll fix it. We're not going to be like them. We'll still adjust it. We'll still fix it. But let's just do it. We're going to survive this.
That's literally playing. That is the definition of paying with blood. Mm-hmm. It's they decided to, what, we'll just tarnish our reputation, but we'll take
that's the thing.
That one.
They will look at the other examples, Fallout 76, because people, they're having updates and people swear by the game now, and we all know No Man's Sky. You know what I mean? They're probably looking at this. That's a freaking 10, 15 man team. They came back. We could do that. You know, you know what I mean?
No Man's Sky is such an anomaly because it's like
it is.
It's like the game is done already. Stop. We don't need anything else. It's not like, I don't understand. Like, I mean, granted, yes, people are playing, but I can't imagine more people going like, oh, patch number 99.7964. Let me grab that. I should probably buy No Man's Sky right now. It's like, I can't imagine, like, that game probably made its sales already, and Sean Murray is still apologizing for it. I can't imagine anybody to be in those shoes.
Yeah, I know it. But honestly, if this hasn't already proven it for you listeners, we're not going to forget because it was that traumatic of an experience that
this was
one
brutal.
of the, well, I didn't know CD Projekt Red prior to Witcher 3, but I learned about them because of Witcher 3, and I went back to see what they were doing, and everything behind them, and then everything since, up until Cyberpunk. And it was amazing. It was just like, I can't believe these people like this exist. Fuck, I got literally a note from them thanking me for trusting them to purchase this, this game,
Yeah.
And I mean, granted, it went to a bunch of people, but I still felt it because I was like, I didn't know
Game companies
CD
don't do
Projekt
that.
Red before Witcher 3, and that letter felt to me like, hey, thank you for trusting me.
Yeah.
Thank you for trusting this company you've never heard of and investing in Witcher 3. Here's an awesome fucking game. Oh, look forward to some DLC that's going to be even more awesome.
Yes.
And it was unheard of. And to have that in one moment destroyed, and then I fell for it. I had an inkling. I remember feeling that inkling. That's why I did not pre-order. And it was the day before. I was talking to Chaos. I'm not blaming Chaos, although I'm not blaming Chaos. I'm going to stand on that. I'm not blaming Chaos, but it was a conversation I had with him where he was like, dude, I can't wait, man. That shit's ready to come. It's download. It's ready to go to tomorrow. And I'm just like, yeah, I don't know, man. You know, they've
a
only
digital copy that wouldn't have it wouldn't have like there was absolutely no reason to pre-order it, right? Because it's not like you're missing out on like,
exactly,
and you can say like, oh, but I missed the pre-order bonus of whatever the fuck. Not even that.
Not even that, because they weren't even doing that shit.
Talk about bad decisions, huh?
There you go. That night,
you panicked.
I panicked the way CD Projekt Red panicked, and they got me.
This is how it happened. This is
utter disappointment, bro. When I ran that, and I remember just that intro montage, right?
Yes.
That it's for, I guess, spoilers. Every version or starting character will go through that same intro montage. That's just the intro montage of the game. And
hey, you got your chops, basically. That intro montage.
Yeah, that intro montage was fucked up. Okay, it was fucking Jackie.
So you were playing on the original PlayStation.
Yes, I was on PlayStation 4. Yes,
not even PlayStation Pro,
but the original PlayStation 4.
Wow.
And when I saw the mess that was, I was heartbroken. I was heartbroken because I was like, I cannot believe this company who delivered gems fucked me over. Like, literally.
Yeah.
And the sad part is I saw it coming. That's why I didn't do it. I just got caught up in the FOMO. You know what I mean? So yeah, I cannot express how disappointed I am to say that I don't care about Witcher 4 until it's been out. Right. You know what I mean? And if it's good, then maybe I'll jump into it. But I'm not hopping.
You need to show me the receipts.
Correct.
We need to see reviews.
It's heartbreaking to say that about a company that I would have handed money at any point.
Right.
Like right now, Supergiant Games. They are one of the few, probably, I can't think of anybody else I know. That's the one that came to mind. Supergiant Games, the moment they have their next game.
Naughty Dog.
There you go. Naughty Dog as well. Yeah. Though, Last of Us Part 1.
Yeah. That's a step.
Yeah. That's the first blemish on their,
I would say the same.
Yeah.
Yes.
And who knows, that could be Sony, whatever, and we all know, I mean, that's the same, but yeah. Like, without question, Supergiant easily. Here you go. I don't even know what it is.
Imagine if Supergiant releases a game that crashes on you the moment you started, and that runs at 15 frames per second, and everything T-poses, even sprites T-poses, because they find a way to make sprites T-pose of how bad the game is. And yeah. And it's all garbage, and that's
how disheartening.
That's gaming infidelity right there.
Oh my god, bro, so amazing, but
it destroys you. Now, CEO has stepped down as recent as this week, I believe.
That. Yep, I saw that article. Yep.
They announcing projects like I mentioned. They already, like, we already knew that they were on Witcher 4, and that kind of made me think like, oh. Fucking of course, like nobody, like Witcher 3 was the proper end.
I'm still that way. I am still that way.
Right.
I just like, so that's why I'm telling you, I have zero interest in Witcher 4, because Witcher 3, and I played all the DLC. Believe me when I tell you, it's over.
It's
You're
over.
saying it is done. It's like it's a perfect way to just fiend fin your fucking story. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And we fucked up Cyberpunk. Now let's go back to the well and stuff that we
Let's
do
go back
know.
to
Yeah, it's like
exactly.
I'm like,
That's
no.
what it feels like.
Now it feels like an overcorrection the other way, which can also be wrong. You know what I mean? So that's why.
No, and unnecessary. It feels like, okay, then do another IP, do something different. Don't you chose to do the safest thing because again, acting on panic.
Yep.
Cyberpunk, it's demolishing all around you. You don't know what to do, and you're already announcing fucking Witcher 4. Like, who cares? You know, of course, now that they feel confident because they have put the hours, because they have put the word, because they have clean up the worst of it, even though they still have some minor cleanup to do. Now they feel confident enough to say, oh yeah, we're planning on continuing this, and by the way, fuck making new engines, we're just gonna use Unreal this time because Unreal is there already. I feel like
I'm super happy about that either.
Remember when we had that topic about Unreal? Like everybody's just gonna go Unreal. It's that. It's this. Why develop your own engine anymore when Unreal does it for you?
I mean, yes, but there's an argument. I mean, that's a whole separate topic, but there's an argument to be made when you develop an engine specifically for what you're trying to do. Now, that is ridiculously costly, and pointless if you want to do other things. You know what I mean?
Right.
But you can't argue about the results of the RE engine. You know what I mean? The results of whatever the engine that Luminous is using. Because, dear Lord, I haven't played any of the games yet, but man, God, it looks really good. You know what I mean? You play Final Fantasy 15, which I believe is the same engine.
Yeah.
It looks beautiful. Sure, it has a bunch
of as far as world building, it's like it's phenomenal. Hell, the Fox engine. Remember the Fox engine?
Hell yeah.
So when you misusing,
exactly. That's another one. So when they do it for the purpose of whatever, man, it will net you some ridiculous results. But I get it. It's costly. And if you are trying to, so many people are learning.
You want to whip something out quick,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
having the foundation already made and ready, and tools that could actually make it exponentially faster and easier and more streamlined to develop a game. Like, you're gonna use that, even if it ends up being like whatever. If like at the end of the day, if they make an amazing game, I don't give a fuck what engine they use. They could use Unity for all I care. So that's beside the point. But it goes to show that they want to fix, and they want to fix quick. They want to leave this chapter of their life behind. They're no longer the darlings. They can make a comeback, and they could be something else. They have to prove themselves now. Before, they had already done that job already. They were worth it. They were worth it.
Yeah.
Now they have to prove their worth again from zero.
Yep.
And so far they seem to be, they seem to be taking the first steps well enough. But we'll see.
We shall see. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. That brings us to the end of another awesome episode, the real episode 333. If you haven't already, please go to goodgame.rocks. Join the conversation there. And of course, please like, subscribe, and share the podcast with everyone. This is Mad Dog signing off this week. Mr. David Santos is so awesome to have you back.
Thank you.
Take us home.
Good to be back. I will say, first off, I would definitely want to know your what you think about Edge Runner. So just put it real quick, watch a couple of episodes, see if it grabs you, and keep on going. And second, I was kind of surprised also when I heard music from Cyberpunk that I like, that I would Shazam to see what artist it is, and it always comes back to it being a CD Projekt Red soundtrack, which makes me wonder, like, did they went as far as like getting all these artists and making music exclusive for the game?
That's crazy.
Like, that is, yeah, that is crazy. That game has a good soundtrack. The series also, because it's mostly similar, if not the same songs even. But they're a little reused. Yeah, that's I would say they kind of reuse them a lot. But we'll see. We'll see. Tell me about it. Let's close this bitch because I still have Night City to save.
Oh, yeah. You're not going to save Night City, sir. Night City is above you, my friend. But you can survive Night City. That's the whole point.
There you go. I need to survive it. There you go. I'm a nomad, son.
Oh, you're of the dust land. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. All right, guys. Well, with that, let's get back to gaming. We'll see you next week. GG!